Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain what's going to happen. We're going to have the invocation and national anthem. And David, if you would, get over there. That mic is live. And I will introduce what we're going to do. We want to invite you to stand for our invocation. Test one. We're so happy to have with us again Mr. David Smith. David is team manager of the Richard Childress Racing number 31 car. And then we have our national anthem sung a cappella by Tech Sergeant Shawnee Previtt of the U.S. Air Force Band, the color guard of airmen from the Presidential Honor Guard, Bowling Air Force Base. Then we will have a flyover coming over turns 1 and 2 at about 1,000 feet, exiting over turns 3 and 4 by 4 Air Force F-16s, 192 fighter wing jet of the Virginia National Guard in Richmond. This is in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the United States Air Force.
Well, I promise you, very soon we will get that national anthem. All these folks' feet are getting tired here, although they will be standing up all night.
If you are standing for our invitation, here is David Smith, team manager of the Richard Childress Racing, car number 31. David.
Thank you, Sammy. Race fans, we hope you enjoyed tonight's event. Would you pray with me? Our Father in heaven, we're so grateful for this day that you've given us again. You're so good to us. We thank you for this great country that we have. We thank you for Richmond International Raceway, for the efforts that have been made for this race tonight. Thank you for the sponsors. We're thankful for each and every driver here. We ask for the safety of each one of them. We pray for the pit crew members as they perform their duties, that you'll give them safety on pit road. We thank you for the fans that are gathered here tonight. We pray for safety for everyone as they go home to their homes, that we can all come back again to enjoy another such race. Father, we just ask a special request to be made known tonight for a little girl in the local area here by the name of Jessica East. She needs a special touch from heaven. She's the daughter of the local policeman, Robbie East, and we just pray that you'll touch and heal there in all the way that you can. Thank you again for this event tonight. We thank you most of all for your Son, the Lord Jesus Christ, who gave his life on the cross for us and rose again from the dead for our justification. All these things we thank you for and ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
wait. We can't have that because the big show is next. The EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400 coming up with Bob, Betty, and Ned. I'm Dave Despain. That's the pre-race show. We'll see you next week.
Bill Elliott is back in the spotlight on the pole here at Richmond tonight, but he is no longer the only Winston Million winner.
I should have never won that race. Man, what a team. What a team, man. These guys were busting off some great pit stops.
You can do it, Jeff. I know you can do it.
Wow, right against that pin. That won't look near that boy, does it?
Let's go. We're going to pull the left rear wheel off and pull the pin on the sway bar. Go, 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 go. Dig out, hard, hard. Go, 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 go.
Oh, and there's contact. They go down into the corner side by side, and Jeff Gordon holds off the challenge.
Yeah! Yeah, we did it!
$1 million. Come on, buddy. What you expect me to do, man?
The spring race at Richmond tested the mettle and muscle of the previously undefeated DuPont crew. The smoking tire, the twisted sheet metal, the clouded dreams. But when you have a driver that is driven to succeed and a leader who idolizes the likes of Lombardi, there is no room for surrender in this multicolored team of titans. Each week, this oval faces another. But last week we learned it takes a lot of sense to make $1 million. Well, in a week when there's been a lot of talk about music awards, Jeff Gordon certainly deserves Performer of the Year, at least to this point. 9 #1 smash singles, and if things continue, well, he could have another gold album at the end of this year. Last week, another record smash and $1 million payday. But Jeff, obviously it's natural for an athlete to let down after a huge performance. How do you get focused on this race tonight?
Well, you know, we started thinking about Richmond on Tuesday this week because we went down and we tested this car and shook it down at a little track in South Carolina. So, you know, we came here pretty well prepared, but we certainly have had to forget about Darlington since we've been here because we've been working real hard. The car hasn't been exactly the way we want it, and once we get the car right, then we start abusing the tires a little bit more. So it's going to be an interesting night for the DuPont Chevrolet, but as well as these guys worked last week, I got a lot of confidence in what we can do here tonight.
A lot of sweet music at Darlington. He's hoping this car plays a similar tune. He starts 10th, looking for win number 10.
Terry Labonte has been backing up instead of going forward lately. This crash at Pocono in July dropped Terry from the points lead all the way back to 3rd place. Since then, the Iceman has seen his title hopes start to melt. An average finishing position of 17.6 in the last 6 races has dropped him to 257 out of the lead. Rusty Wallace is looking for consistency too. Many times this year, he's found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mistakes on pit road, 10 DNFs, and Wallace is 14th in points. His lone moment in the sun, right here at Richmond back in March when he spun out early, but rallied to win the race. Wallace hopes to rally again tonight.
And he hopes to rally in the car in which carried him to victory lane right at the Richmond International Raceway back in March. But this morning he avoided disaster when the 31 car touched his car, sent Rusty spinning, but he kept his car out of the wall. He is ready to go, all strapped up. Rusty, can you get back to victory lane tonight?
I think I can. It's a great car. It's running good. Let's get about 40 or 50 laps under our belt and find out where the chassis is right now, but I feel good about it.
Rusty Wallace feels good about his chances. He rolls off 14th tonight.
Perhaps the biggest mystery in modern-day motorsports unraveled this week when a woozy 7-time Winston Cup champion brushed the wall in lap 1 at Darlington. Following hospitalization and extensive medical assessment, the final words came on Friday.
You know, they've released me to race, and which is great. But the greatest thing is that I'm pretty confident in myself that it's not going to happen again, or I'm you know, got anything wrong with me. So they did everything they could do, and well, they didn't check me to see if I was pregnant.
It must seem like an eternity. 50 races since Earnhardt's last hurrah. In more ways than one, tonight's race is the first step in his road to recovery.
This last week has been difficult for Dale. He's asked to do something very, very uncharacteristic. He had to be patient as a patient.
waiting to find out exactly what it was that caused him to be so woozy. He was prodded and probed and pinched and punctured, but now all that's over. It's time to perform. Hey, Dale, millions want to know, is the man in black totally back? All right, he said you better believe it. A more determined Dale Earnhardt I have not seen, folks. There's a fire in this man's belly that only victory can put out.
You talk about a mystery. This racetrack tonight, folks, could be a mystery. The folks here put a coating or a sealer on the racetrack trying to get the cars a better grip, therefore making it more competitive. As the sealer wears off, what's the car going to do? No one really knows, Ned, but after all, this is a short track and close competition.
Which means close competition, and sometimes tempers can flare on a short track. Take last night, for instance. Joe Bessie flings his helmet right in the car of Dale Shaw. He thought that he put him out. Dale Shaw returns it to the racetrack a little bit later on. And, of course, you never know what else might happen on a short track either. Like fire came up inside Mike McLaughlin's car. Lots of smoke, and, of course, where there is smoke, there is fire. But he was able to get the car halted and get out of the car okay. Always lots of action on the short tracks.
ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to Richmond International Raceway in Virginia for the NASCAR Winston Cup EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400. After tonight, just 8 races to go. Jeff Gordon's win at Darlington was worth $1 million and the points lead by 25 over Mark Martin. 6 in the top 10 have won here. Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, Bobby Labonte, and Ted Musgrave have not. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. Geographically, we're not very far from where we were last Sunday when there was $1 million at stake, and of course, Jeff Gordon won it. Tonight, there is not $1 million at stake. The race is shorter. The track is smaller. But there are just as many points available to the drivers. And now the next focus of attention is the $1.5 million bonus that goes to the champion of the Winston Cup Series in 1997. Down to Bill Weber.
Over the years, we've certainly seen some exciting winners go to victory lane on the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit. But maybe it's those thrilling second-place finishes that haunt our memory forever. Such is the case perhaps for Jeff Burton. His first 2 wins came this season. But last week at Darlington, second to Jeff Gordon in his chase for the Winston Million. Problems in the pits might have cost Burton that win. So his team worked on that this week. And tonight, they hope to recapture what maybe was taken from them in Darlington last Sunday. It's a bright Saturday night in Jeff Burton's home state. If you're a fan of Jeff Burton, you better buckle up, Virginia.
They say Richmond's a rough place to race if you're a new face. Unfortunately, no one told Kenny Irwin. This 28-year-old rookie starts his Ford on the front row in his Winston Cup debut. Robert Yates wanted his newest hire just to come here and make the field. Tonight, he will help lead it toward the green flag.
Rookie driver Robbie Gordon has shown flashes of brilliance this year. Remember, he won the pole at Atlanta back in March, qualified 4th for tonight's race, but this morning backed his car into the wall. They didn't want to go to a backup car and lose that good starting position, so Mike Hillman and the crew went to work and they fixed his car. In fact, the rear clip, the rear frame, they had to bend it up 4 inches to keep it from dragging. So keep an eye on Robbie Gordon tonight because they're not quite sure exactly how that car is going to run.
20 Fords will start tonight's race along with 14 Chevys and 8 Pontiacs. Ford is on top of the manufacturer's championship. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia. Driving the Mac tonight colors, and Kenny Irwin Jr. in his first NASCAR Winston Cup race. The second row, Bobby Hamilton, 5 consecutive top 5s here, and Robbie Gordon. In row number 3, we have Kenny Wallace and Dick Trickle. In the 4th row, Joe Nemechek and David Green. Row number 5, Ken Schrader and Jeff Gordon. The 6th row, the Burton brothers, Jeff on the inside, Ward on the outside. In the 7th row, Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace. Take a look now at the rest of the starting lineup as the field warms up and should be going green next time around. Boy, you just can't ask for a more beautiful evening here in Virginia. The stands are full. Over 100,000 people have jammed into this magnificent facility here in Henrico County, just outside the city limits of Richmond, and we are ready for some fantastic short track racing tonight.
And Bob, there are a lot of drivers that are capable of winning this this race that are starting way back in the field. Actually, there was just a fraction over a third of a second that separated first and last.
Right along with Mark Martin, that's his onboard camera. There's Robbie Gordon's Coors Light Chevrolet. Pace car comes off turn 4. He will be ducking down to the inside pit road. Here we go. Green flag is almost in the air.
There it is. We're underway. Number 1, Kenny Irwin Jr. from second starting position is running in second spot, but a lot of side-by-side racing back in the middle and later part of the pack.
Kenny Schrader in the 33 car. He gets down to the inside now. Mark Martin alongside Rusty Wallace, and they are bumper to bumper. Jeremy Mayfield, 37, trying to push Rusty Wallace through the corner and by Mark Martin. Cars are getting a very, very good grip on the outside. It looks like we'll see 2 grooves all night.
Kenny Wallace and Robbie Gordon, the battle for 4th position. As up front, we see Kenny Irwin trying to position himself to the inside of Bill Elliott, and this young man from Indianapolis, Indiana, is quite racy. He had several testing laps on this racetrack, plus he has run here in midgets and Silver Crown cars and in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So Richmond International Raceway is not foreign to Kenny Irwin Jr. And the side-by-side battle and here up front, a better battle going on as Hamilton now gets down to the inside right behind Irwin, and Irwin and Elliott are side-by-side as they go down the backstretch.
Well, that is quite a drive by a rookie driver, Kenny Irwin Jr.
Now, Kenny, of course, will have full time in the 28 car next year with Robert Yates. They're going to run a few races here toward the end of the year to get him some experience. And now looks like he's about to lose that second spot as Hamilton gets to the inside.
We did not get past Bill Elliott and go on. He lost the second position to Bobby Hamilton. I say he lost it. Hamilton trying to take it away, but Irwin doing a good job in that outside groove.
Actually, the outside grooves back in the pack in particular, Benny, is even faster than the inside groove. Boy, there's a lot of cars that are running side by side back in the pack, and the outside group. And Kenny Wallace, did he just flip the wall?
He's on your outside. You're back on the outside.
Well, that's what the word is. Meanwhile, both Dick Trickle and Jeff Burton get to the inside of him, and Robbie Gordon has also had a brush with the wall. And he's losing position, so something has been damaged on that car. Oh, and we got a spin, and Rusty Wallace in turn 2. Just like last year.
And all the other cars just stop. In all that smoke, they can't see, so they stop.
The spring race was where he spun. So he'll have to do it again, huh?
He will start dead last, just like he did in the spring. But in the spring, he was able to fight through the traffic, come back, and win the race.
And it happened on the same part of the racetrack.
And it was the same part of the racetrack in which he spun this morning in practice, or this afternoon, a little bit further down the racetrack out of turn 2 down the backstretch, but in the same general area. Let's take a look at it. He was 3 wide in that mess.
He and Earnhardt makes contact, get in the corner, and when he turned away from Earnhardt to try to avoid spinning Earnhardt out, he actually spun himself, and then when he nailed the gas, he throws up a smoke screen.
Yes, he does. Well, let's see what happens to Kenny Wallace here in the Square D Ford number 81. He gets on the inside of the 27 car of Kenny Irwin Jr., gets a little bit loose. They made a little bit of contact, but Kenny is able to hold on. We thought he got in the wall, but he got down on the inside and got loose. And then Robbie Gordon comes up on the outside, and apparently he got into the wall a little bit.
Down to Jerry Punch, who has a report on the 40 car.
Well, Robbie's problem really wasn't as much wall contact as it was a problem up front in the engine compartment. Robbie is now taking the car, and you see him pulling the helmet off back in the garage area. Robbie radioed Mike Hillman a moment ago, and I think it may have been the harmonic balance or something in the front possibly in the engine, but he thinks the engine may have come apart. That's why he's headed back to the garage area and now climbing out of the car. We head back up and check on Rusty's pits with Bill Weber.
Well, Rusty is here on pit road, and he will get 4 tires and fuel. Obviously very similar, as Bob Jenkins pointed out, to what happened at the spring race here at Richmond. The rights are already on, tightening the left side lugs. Rusty's got the freshest tires and more fuel than anybody else. But I'm go all the way to the back. We've seen this story once before.
We sure have, and it will be interesting to see if he can duplicate what he did here in the spring. Now, this is from the Rusty Wallace onboard camera.
You see Ernie Irvin diving down to the inside, and his career best going down in turn 1. And right here, we see the contact. And look at the smoke that he puts out when he nails the gas.
Wally Dallenbach also spun, has been in for pit stops, but he too is ready to go with fresh tires. Well, he's back in right now. We'll take a break and be back with more in a moment. ESPN Speed World tonight at Richmond International Raceway in Virginia for the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Being brought to you by Kmart. Get the EXIDE NASCAR Select Battery at Kmart. NASCAR Performance at Kmart. Low prices. By Valvoline DuraBlend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. And by the legendary Firebird Trans Am from Pontiac. 15 laps completed here at Richmond, and Bobby Hamilton has taken second place from Kenny Irwin as we run a couple of laps now under the green flag.
And check that guy in 4th spot. Jeff Burt moved into 4th. And Earnhardt trying to get by David Green and going to the top 10 if he can make that pass.
Well, that's quite a move by Earnhardt. He started in 22nd position, so he is on a move.
It was incredible the number of people that I ran into that I had never met before this past week, and they had one question they wanted to ask me. How is Dale Earnhardt? He's back. Here's John Kernan with Robbie Gordon.
And Robbie has climbed out of his Coors Light machine. Robbie, engine problems?
Yeah, sometimes it's just, we're all really bummed. We had a pretty good race car. Thought that we were going to be pretty competitive in the long run. You know, the key in the beginning was to stick around and ride for 300 miles and then go racing from the end. It's unfortunate. The Coors car was running good this weekend.
And we told you already about the problems they had this morning. The team worked to put the car back together, and then they had the night end a little bit early, Bob.
We're watching this battle back here involving Jeremy Mayfield and others. Now we're riding with Hut Strickland. Is up ahead is Ernie Irvin and Derek Pope.
Side by side, and they come down the front stretch. And, oh, the 99 car goes around.
Lots of cars behind him here.
Take it off. Take it off. Don't let that 24 by.
And a collision at the bottom of the racetrack sends a couple of others.
There's Ernie Irvin backing down the racetrack. We see Steve Grissom sitting there sideways. Meanwhile, Irvin is still backing as the cars have taken the caution.
And Mark Martin was involved, Benny.
Yes, he was. Don't know how much damage he's done to the Valvoline Ford, but he definitely, as you can see, he's coming on around the racetrack. He was right behind that.
We had a record 10 cautions for the Busch Series event last night, and we've had 2 already here in the first 20 laps of this Winston Cup event.
Well, now we've got 2 Jack Roush cars involved in the incident. You ever see the 99 car? He's trying to get by Kenny Irwin. He goes down the corner. Irwin comes down the hill. The 99 car just spins himself out trying to avoid spinning Kenny Irwin out. He goes up the racetrack, and now in all the smoke and sitting there, other cars try to take evasive action. There we see Irwin, and it looked like the 46 car. Was that Dallenbach that was spun down there?
Well, we'll take another look as they come in there. There's on the left side of the screen is Burton spinning. Jeff Gordon goes by on the inside. And then they start splitting back there and start slowing down and hitting each other. Ernie Irvin goes around, and Mark Martin, the 6 car, goes around. Kyle Petty comes to a stop.
41 car almost runs in the back, but he does stop. So it's Ernie Irvin that actually hit, that made contact with Mark Martin.
Yeah, and he hit him pretty good, too. Watch. See if we can see it from this angle. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He ran clear up on him, didn't he?
Sure did.
Bill Weber.
Jeff Burton is in. He's gotten right side tires to putting on left side tires. His teammate Mark Martin has been in, and Mark's already left. Martin will come back in. Mark has sheet metal damage on the left rear quarter, but Burton's car looks okay. He's got 4 tires and 2 of them headed back out.
Mark Martin comes into this race just 25 behind Jeff Gordon, and of course Martin had the points lead going into Darlington last Sunday. On board with Mark. Listen and watch. And from Hutz, Richmond, Circuit City in car. To Bill Weber.
Mark Martin got his left side tires on that stop. They tried to pull the sheet metal away, but they wanted to get Mark back out as quickly as possible. Field getting 1 to go this time by.
A lot of damage on that car.
My question is, Bill, can they get gas in the car?
They spilled a lot of it there, Benny. We'll check and then get back to you.
Okay.
Getting set to go back to green next time around. John Kernan.
Back in the garage area, Chad Little, this ran into the back of someone when Rusty Wallace spun. It broke the radiator, so his crew is back here busy trying to replace the radiator. Meanwhile, Chad sits in his car waiting patiently, but it's going to take a few more laps to get the damage repaired.
Here, Jeff Burton is back in the pits once again as they try to get the sheet metal away from the tire. Bill?
That's exactly right. Wanted to check the sheet metal one more time before Jeff went back out on the track. So they yanked that away. He's got the 4 fresh tires. And as soon as we get back to green, we'll have an idea how that car is going to handle.
Green flag comes out. Back to racing once again as Bill Elliott continues to lead here. He's led every lap so far. And there are 24 complete with green on lap 25.
And Schrader going by Jeff Gordon on the outside. Now Gordon gets up the outside lines. Kenny Wallace into 81 down on the inside. Dale Earnhardt is right there in that pack up on the outside of Dick Trickle. Well, Earnhardt has made a masterful drive towards the front.
He sure has. He is up to 8th position already.
And here we go. Battle for the lead in 3. Bobby Hamilton on the inside of Bill Elliott. Can't quite make it. Elliott gets it run off the corner.
Here comes a Napa field summary for you as we show you where everybody is running. And the numbers in parentheses on the right indicate their starting position. So Dale Earnhardt is up to 7th from a 22nd starting position. And we're watching Dick Trickle work the outside of Kenny Wallace. Back up front, the battle continues as Bobby Hamilton tries once again to get to the inside of Bill Elliott, but Elliott holds him off down the backstretch.
That almost looks like Ricky Rudd, but in fact it's Darrell Walker with one of his 25th anniversary paint jobs.
That could be confusing during the evening. David Green right behind him. He has Mark Green, his brother, standing by in case David needs relief. Of course, he broke his shoulder blade earlier in the year.
That was at Bristol, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, Hamilton now has a run on Elliott. Let's see if he can do anything here in the...
Seems like that inside groove, they're having trouble getting traction as they come off the turn. And the middle groove is the one that works best, but now he gets a little more up alongside off 2, but look at Elliott, he pulls away once again.
Bill Elliott gives Bobby Hamilton almost enough room down there, but not quite.
Keeps him pinched down just enough that he can't get a good run off the corners.
Elliott led the most laps last week at Darlington, 181. This is the 11th race of the year that Elliott has led, but Hamilton continues to try to wrestle the way.
And Dale Earnhardt is moving around Jeff Gordon as we watch this battle for the lead. And he has made that pass.
Man, oh man, side by side. How many laps is this? 4 or 5 laps have been side by side, neither car able to get that advantage. Schrader's been able to get by the 42 car. Joe Nemechek moved into 4th spot.
Nemechek is 5th, then Earnhardt, then Gordon, and back of Jeff Gordon we have Dick Trickle, Kenny Wallace, and Jeremy Mayfield. Those are your top 10. 33 laps completed here at Richmond International Raceway. Bill Elliott leads the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. 38 laps completed. Bill Elliott continues to hang on to that lead. As a matter of fact, Hamilton is not challenging as much as he was earlier. We let the whole pack go through here and pick up on the side-by-side battle, but the best side-by-side battle, or at least the best battle on the racetrack, is up in front. And Hamilton once again goes to the inside.
And Kenny Irwin, Irwin slipped a little bit that time.
In 7th position, as we watch this battle up front, is Jeff Gordon, and Dr. Jerry Punch has a report.
Well, Jeff had made a move toward the front, but now has lost a couple of spots. The big thing people were fighting today is they were tight in the middle of the corner and then loose coming off. Jeff's problem right now is he is tight in the middle of the corner and even tighter coming off. The car just moves right up across the racetrack, the nose. He cannot get the car to turn, but when the track gets slipperier as the race progresses, he should be in pretty good shape.
Kenny Schrader moves into 3rd position, and Kenny has a good early run going.
Yes, he does, and he's running up on the outside, Bob, in that outside groove, which is a good sign. If you have a car that'll work up there this early in the race, hey, he might be trouble.
And Schrader looks like is going to be the fastest that last lap, and now he's going to try the high side around the 43. But look at the 25 car who takes honors for the fastest lap. And he's running back in 17th position.
Yeah, and he had a good clear racetrack that time by, and he has been very good when he's running in a clear racetrack by himself. Talking about Ricky Craven.
I tell you what, folks, it doesn't get much better than this. And it looks like Hamilton may have him. Yeah, maybe.
Well, no, here comes Bill back on the outside again. Right? This time going into the turn.
And this time Hamilton just drives him up the racetrack.
Tries to lean on him just a little bit, and he's there.
Bobby Hamilton is our second leader of the evening, and Hamilton is no slouch on this racetrack. He finished 7th here a year ago in this race, and he finished 5th here in the spring. 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 12 starts here for Bobby Hamilton, the leader of the race. Now here's 6th and 7th, Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon.
Gordon has caught back up to Earnhardt. Earnhardt had passed him, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, but now Gordon has caught back up to him. Dick Trickle riding along right there behind him in the 90 car.
And let's congratulate Larry and Linda McReynolds, the proud parents of a baby girl born this morning.
Congratulations, Larry and Linda.
Yep.
That's terrific.
As of broadcast time, they hadn't chosen a name yet, so we'll give that to you next week. Jerry, maybe you can help us.
Well, when Larry got back here, they just were able to make the name public, and it is Mary Kendall McReynolds, and they will call her Kendall. She was 9 pounds, 1 ounce, born at 12:15 p.m. today. He was back at the racetrack at 3 o'clock.
Well, congratulations to the new parents of the baby girl. And now we see this battle continuing to be a pretty good one. Now look at Gordon sneak up on the back of Dale.
Hey, that tight situation that they talked about a little bit earlier in the center of the corner, track might be coming to him a little bit now, or the car coming to the track. As the tires gets worn, that might be working to his advantage now. We're talking about Jeff Gordon coming back up on Dale Earnhardt.
99 car has been moving up quickly from his spin from the back of the pack. He is up to where?
24th.
24th?
Jimmy Spencer in the 23 car is in 23rd position.
And the 6 car, Mark Martin's the next car behind. Ever seen Mark? He and Jeff Burton's teammate both started back there side by side. And meanwhile, Jeff Gordon on the inside of Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, this racetrack is really, really working great now. There is 2 distinct grooves out there.
I think the sealer that they put on it did its job.
Dick Trickle is hanging right there with Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. He runs in 8th spot. High overhead from the Pennzoil copter can. Great overhead shot.
Bobby Hamilton has just driven away from Bill Elliott since he made the pass.
As a matter of fact, he has over a 1.5 second lead on Elliott right there. You see the lead that he has. And Irwin got back by Kenny Schrader back in the 3rd spot. And he's hung in there all night, that Bell South Chevy. He had a fire this afternoon. Burned the hood, some of the wires under the hood.
Whoa. Irwin a little loose coming off the corner. This is the David Blair Motorsports car, not anything that has to do with Robert Yates.
Well, it's a Yates car. It's being fielded by the David Blair team.
Yeah, it has a Robert Yates engine, so yeah, it has a good bit to do with Yates.
Sponsor on it is Top Gun Toys. Here he's trying to make a move on Bill Elliott.
I'll tell you what, so far what I've seen this weekend, I've been awfully impressed with Kenny Irwin.
Takes second from Bill Elliott.
Well, almost. Bill hanging tough on the outside.
And here comes front row Joe. Nemechek on the inside.
Look at Kenny Schrader. Bill's going to fall back to 4th here, maybe 5th. All this from the Pennzoil copter can hovering over Richmond International Raceway. We'll be back with more live action in this 24th NASCAR Winston Cup race of the 1997 season. Early on in this race here at Richmond, Rusty Wallace on lap number 8, as a matter of fact, was the meet in an Ernie Irvan and Dale Earnhardt sandwich in turn 2. It sent Rusty spinning and sending up a huge cloud of smoke. And it also brought him in for a pit stop, and he had to drop to the rear of the field. Then we had another caution, and since the restart from that caution, Rusty Wallace has picked up 10 positions. He was 28th when the restart occurred, and he is now up in 18th spot.
And you know what? In the top 10 tonight, there was C.D. Martin trying to get by Rusty Wallace. He's been involved in a crash. This is a battle for the 18th spot. And Mark Martin, it's like we'll take it away from Rusty. Well, might have spoken too soon. But right now, you look at those cars in the top 10. Jeff Gordon, the only car that's won a race in 1997.
How about that? Yep.
There's the 25 car of Ricky Craven. We talked about earlier how that Bud Chevrolet was running, but now his tires have gotten older. Now both Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin have fresher tires than the 25 car of Ricky Craven. John Kernan?
Ricky radioed into his crew about 5 laps ago and said the car is getting really loose going in and really loose coming off the turn. So he can't wait to have a pit stop. Speaking of pit stop, Hutch Strickland is headed down pit road, but they'll tighten Ricky's car up on his first scheduled stop.
99 and 88 cars are in a lot of traffic, but they're moving up. Dale Jarrett is back in 13th position, and Jeff Burton is there in 15th.
I think the story in that group is Bill Elliott.
Yeah, he's going backwards.
A pole sitter, and he's really struggling now just to keep up. And Ted Musgrave has caught up with him and almost runs in the back of Elliott.
Jerry, what's wrong with Bill Elliott?
Well, Mike Beam asked him what the problem was, and Bill said, loose. Mike asked him where, and Bill said everywhere, all around the racetrack.
Oh, that was close. And it loses 3 more spots as Derek Cope gets by the Skittles car, then Jarrett, then Musgrave.
There's Jeff Burton's progress. Smith since the restart. He was 40th on lap 25, and here on the 66th lap, he's 15th and moving up.
Well, I thought they was going 3 abreast there for a second. I said, I don't think that'll work as old as these tires are now, but they singled out or got at least 2 wide. Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace still in tandem.
Ted Musgrave up in 13th spot, starting in 38th. You might say that these cars started at the rear of the field also, but I don't think Musgrave has been the pit.
I don't think so either, Benny, and so he has made a great drive towards the front. Ernie coming back up in the 28 car. Of course, he has been in the pit, so he had newer tires.
So see Terry Labonte coming off the corner.
Terry is in 21st position.
We'll have to look and see what car that was behind him. It is Gerald Walter. There's our leader. And you know what? He's losing some ground to Kenny Irwin. Kenny Irwin is gaining. The 43 car had about a 3-second lead. It's now down to less than 2 seconds.
That's the 4th place car of Jeff Gordon. Running in 3rd is Joe Nemechek. The interval is about 1.6 seconds from 1st to 2nd, and it's about 5.2 seconds back to Jeff Gordon. Bobby Hamilton leads. 72 laps have been completed. We'll take a break and be back with more of our live coverage. Kenny Irwin is 2nd, and Nemechek, Gordon, and Dick Trickle completes the top 5. Back in just a moment. Bobby Hamilton leads the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400 here at Richmond. At the back of the pack and pick up on this battle. Dale Jarrett and Rusty, where's it?
14th spot. And Jeff Burton going by his brother Ward. And let's see.
Moves him up to 7th.
Wow.
Now we timed lap 73 through 77 to see if Jeff was closing in on Bobby Hamilton in the leader, and indeed he has.
He closed in 1.3 seconds, as you can see.
Meanwhile, Hamilton is involved in some traffic now as Kenny Irwin has closed in within a car length.
Obviously, these cars are up. Darling back and Michael Walker both want to stay in the lead lap if they can. So they've held up the leader in trying to do that, and that's allowed Kenny Irwin to catch up, although Irwin has been faster. Well, there comes a real group.
Well, they have been really going at it. Now, Hut Strickland's been in the pits in the 8 car, so he just drove through this whole pack of cars in about 3 laps.
Fastest car that last lap was Jeff Burton, and his teammate Mark Martin was 2nd. Well, make that the 9 car Blake Speed. How about that?
Wow.
Earnhardt's car has gone away. The 3 car of Earnhardt, his tires are really heated up and getting worn now. It's costing him on the racetrack.
Wow, look at that 99 car. And the 40, evidently the 24 car was caught in some traffic that time. Bill Weber?
Earnhardt's Chevrolet is very loose. They will make a track bar adjustment 3 rounds when he pits, maybe around a lap 100. Right now, Bill Elliott on pit road. To Jerry Funk.
35 miles an hour. Bill Elliott could not wait any longer. The car had just gotten so loose, he could not drive it. They were going to make a major chassis adjustment, air pressure change. It will change the track bar. They're changing right side tires here on lap number 84. Out of Matt tonight, McDonald's crew. Coming to the left side. Problem with the left front. The brakes are very, very hot. They hear that glowing. As now they put the left side tires on. He is down and away.
As Jerry said, Bill Elliott could not. And here comes Kenny Irwin for the lead off turn 4. Wow.
Going into turn number 1, but of course he'll have to cross the line to get credit for it. But an impressive performance by the young man from Indiana. Here's Mark Martin and Kenny Schrader as they race for 8th spot.
You know, racing forward, Mark Martin has it.
Well, Schrader was up there in for the lead not too long ago, but apparently the handle's gone away on his Chevrolet. His tires get heated up.
Right now, Kenny Schrader is over 8 seconds behind the leader, Kenny Irwin. And here's Rusty Wallace. He's caught the Kenny Schrader car.
Well, there's a lot of them really fighting it now. As the tires are worn down, we've run 88 laps, or 87 laps. We'll check the speed next time around, just see how much they have dropped off speed-wise.
There we see the leader going into turn 1 as he goes by Dallenbach. And
see, the 99 of Jeff Burton is still over 115, but the others have dropped down to 113. Michael Waltrip just going out of the pits, and he said go forward. He's changed his tires.
One problem that the leaders have now is the traffic of Wally Dallenbach trying to get by them. That's one thing that's slowing them down and allowing these guys to literally catch up.
Here's Burton going by Gordon. He'd like to make that pass last Sunday, wouldn't he?
Yeah, wouldn't he, though?
So Jeff Burton remains the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment, but we should be seeing the first regular round of pit stops before too long. Back in Richmond in just a moment. Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway, where the EXIDE NASCAR Select Battery 400 is 94 laps old. And race coverage tomorrow will include the Grand Prix of Italy Formula One event. That's on at 7:45 Eastern Time over on ESPN2. John Lacey will lead them to the green flag. Karts on the grid at 2:30 on the Deuce, and then the Toyota Grand Prix of Monterey at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Bill Weber.
The Goodwren's crew had wanted to wait till lap 102 to bring Dale Earnhardt in, but they couldn't do that anymore. The car was too loose. They'll make a track car, just what we talked about. Earnhardt has sheet metal damage on the left door. That's from early in the race. Right side tires are on, left side tires on quickly. They tighten the lug nuts. Fuel is in, Earnhardt's down, and heads back out on the track. Good pit stop for these guys.
Jeff Burton is also on pit road.
No, he's going for the lead.
All right.
He is coming on. He has caught Kenny Irwin Jr. and moved to the inside. And he's going to motor right on by, it looks like.
Wow, what a run by 99. Spun earlier, has fought his way back through the traffic, and has taken the lead. The EXIDE battery, of course, this is the EXIDE race.
Sterling Marlin goes out of the pits. He's been in for service. Ricky Rudd has also made a pit stop. Jimmy Spencer coming in right now. These are all scheduled pit stops. Some in earlier than others because they just simply couldn't stay out there on those tires, slipping and sliding. Let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Jimmy Spencer in will make a track bar adjustment, a full tire change as they raise the track bar quite a bit. Right sides are on. They come around to the left side. You can actually see sparks coming off the air gun as they take off the lug nut. Now they put the left side lugs, tightening them up. He's down and away.
Jimmy Spencer lost a lap on the racetrack, and this probably cost him at least one more lap.
Jeff Gordon has caught Bobby Hamilton. Boy, Hamilton's car has really gone away now. As we see Darrell Waltrip come in the pits, Bobby Labonte's in the pits, Rick Mast is in the pits. There's the Interstate Batteries Pontiac of Bobby Labonte.
Left side's going on that car. Get in the full of fuel.
Ken Schrader comes down pit road as Labonte goes out. There's Darrell Waltrip. Made a chassis adjustment on him. He's getting 4 tires. Ken Schrader's made it to his pit. Let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
And Ken Schrader already has the right side tires on. Now getting the left side tires and fuel. No chassis adjustment for Schrader. Lug nuts are on, and routine pit stop for Ken Schrader in the Skoll Chevrolet. The 7 car also on pit road now.
back sitting there putting left sides on the first Union Chevrolet as Jeff Bodine takes the PDC forward. Off pit road, here comes Kenny Wallace, a great qualifying run. He'll bring his Square D car to pit road. And it'll be 4 tires, almost guaranteed. I almost bet my life on that.
Yep.
Dale Jarrett comes down pit road. Bill Weber is there.
Dale Jarrett is on pit road, 103 laps in the book. They'll make a track bar adjustment a quarter round and go up on the bite 1 round on the Quality Care Ford. Right side tires going on. Now around to the left side. Jarrett sits in the car, being topped off with fuel. Bobby Hamilton crawls by to DJ's right, waiting on the lugs to be tightened. They clean the grill. Now Jarrett's away. Down pit road is Jerry Pike.
No one has won more at Richmond than Richard Petty, 13 times, and now his SDP Pontiac comes to a halt on pit road. They will make a track bar adjustment, go down on the track bar in the right rear. They will go up on the air pressure in the right rear and down on the air pressure in the left rear. Right side tires are on. Water bottle comes out. They clean the windshield. Left front, left rear lug nuts are on. It's full of fuel. As Bobby Hamilton now trouble with the left rear, they pull it down and away. The 42 car is also in. Joe Nemechek, likewise Jeff Gordon in, getting service right behind Nemechek. Both two down to the left side. A couple of Chevrolets pitting nose to tail. Left front, left rear tires going on the 42 and the 24. And simultaneously, come over Jeff and pull away. Jerry Labonte in for his pit service. His car has been tight all night long. They've already made the chassis adjustment on the left rear. The crew swings around to the left side. Jack 1, 2 pumps, it's up. Tires off, tires going on. Hit the lug nuts 5 times and also earned revenues with the pits of steering wheel. Let's go to Bill Weber. Chassis adjustment in 4 tires, very quick for Ernie Irvin. He's got fuel, he's already off of pit road.
And the 27 car is on pit road. Kenny Air, when you see him there, the right side is being changed. Going on the left side, Jerry Punch.
And he almost stalled the car coming in. He got into pit right before he was going to stop, and the car almost quit. Right side tires, now left side tires. Jeff talked to Jack Mann. Trouble with the left side. Now the car is down and away.
Jeff Burton continues to lead, but he can stay out there a little while, at least as far as fuel is concerned. But he might not want to stay out there with these other cars with new tires on them, because that's going to cost him. As you see, those cars that Bobby Hamilton, Dale Jarrett just driving right on by. Now, they were 2 laps down, so they've got in position. They're just 1 lap down now. But here is the car number 31 of Mike Skinner in the pit. But Jeff Burton can't afford to stay out there too long as these other cars are running the speeds they are. Let's go to the pit for Jerry Punch.
Well, Mike Skinner began the night pitting up toward turn 4, but when the car number 40 had to be retired, they had doubled up their pit. They have now moved down here toward turn 1. Left side tires going on in car number 31, a low Chevrolet 21.3, and now Burton is in front of Bill.
109 laps on the board. They told Jeff Burton, you pit when the front runners do. He got trapped out last time, but now he's on pit road. Rusty Wallace is on pit road, 3 cars behind him. Right side tires now for the 99. Rusty also getting his right side tires. Now they swing around to left sides on the 99 EXIDE Ford. One tire gets away, kicked back to the crew. They gobble it up and hold it on the sidelines. Lugs are tight. Good stuff for these guys who struggled last week. Now Rusty Wallace waiting on the left side tires. Digging around at the left front. Having some trouble up there. Now Rusty's Miller Lite Ford is down and away. Dodges a crewman. John Vernon.
Well, here's something that we need to keep an eye on for the rest of this race. This is the right front tire off of Jimmy Spencer's car. About 20 laps before pit stop, he radioed in and told the crew, I think I've worn out the right front. And you can see, yes, he has, on the inside of the right front tire, all the way down to the steel belted radials. Right on this side is all worn out. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
110 laps now on the board, and Mark Martin creeps down pit road, so he too has dodged a bullet. Coming in with the leaders after getting fresh tires following an earlier spin. Still has damage on the left rear quarter. Getting fuel in is not a problem on this car. Right side tires going on. Chassis adjustment, a round and a half. Come around to the left front. Now he'll swing around to the left rear. Jack slides underneath. Valvoline Ford goes in the air. Left front tire on. Left rear tire on. Waiting for the lugs on the left rear. Plenty of
fuel in the car now. Mark drops and spins it. He's on his way. 24 seconds leaving, I believe, on the clock.
And Lake Speed comes on pit road. He has been the leader. That's the first time that the Mellon car led a race all this year. John Kernan.
Lake Speed pulls into his pit stall. Now the front tire carrier fell, but it shouldn't hurt him too badly. Well, he gets the tire there just in time, but the right front tire is on top of the air hose. Now one of the crewmen moves it away. Right sides are on. They swing around to the left side. We haven't seen any chassis adjustment as yet. Second can of fuel going in. It is full of fuel. Lake Speed waiting as they hit the mud with the air gun to tell it to go. 21.7.
Pretty good stop by Lake Speed's guys. And, you know, it looks like that spin out, that Jeff Burton, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, it looks like that really truly did not hurt them.
No, I don't think it hurt them at all, Benny. They were able to put new tires on, come back up towards the front.
They had pressure tires all the time, and we see clearly, and Lake Speed will go a lap down there, I guess.
A lap down now. Jeff Burton, after all this round of pit stops, Jeff Burton is the leader.
And you see the AutoZone off-track interval, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin. Jeff Burton spent 83 seconds. He crossed the start-finish line. The next time he came by, went in the pits, did his pit work, came back out and then crossed the start-finish line again. That took 83.6 seconds. It took Mark Martin 89.4 seconds. A almost 6-second advantage for the 99 car over Mark Martin.
Jeff Gordon maintains the lead. Jeff Gordon running second, and Joe Nemechek is third as 118 out of 400 laps are completed at Richmond. Earlier in the race, Jeff Burton, as a matter of fact, on lap 20, involved in a skirmish with a few other cars over in turn number 2. Again, sending up a lot of smoke. And also Ernie Irvin and Mark Martin and others involved, but he has moved up 40 positions to the lead now and has about a 1.3-second advantage on Jeff Gordon.
It's almost reminiscent of Rusty Wallace in the spring when he spun almost in exactly the same spot, went on to win the race. See Bobby Labonte, the 18 car, the 33 car of Kenny Schrader.
We'll remind you that Rusty Wallace also spun earlier in the race. He is running in 11th position.
This is 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Ken Schrader, 21st, Terry Labonte, and Bobby Labonte. And Lake Speed right up in front of him. We saw him make a pit stop. He was leading the race and had to come back into the pit, John Kernan.
And at first, Lake thought he had a right front tire going down, but when they came in and changed tires, the crew found that they'd actually put a left front tire on the right front. So they made a mistake here in the pits, and it cost them at least a lap.
I guess that's one disadvantage of nighttime. And they're trying to get 3 abreast going down the corner. That's not probably a good plan.
Well, there are a lot of cars there racing for a position. There they go again, trying to go 3 abreast. Kenny Schrader said, I better get out of here. That won't work.
A shot from high overhead, Richmond International Raceway, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil. It's the Pennzoil Copter Cam.
Ted Musgrave car does not seem to be handling as it did before. I'm sorry, that was Bill Elliott's car, not Musgrave. My mistake.
Wally Dallenbach just got up high in the second turn. I don't know whether he hit the wall, but if he didn't, he came darn close.
I believe he did, Bob. He has slowed dramatically on the racetrack, so he's headed to the pits.
You see smoke coming up the right side where the sheet metal is rubbing against the tire.
Back to that right front tire. I thought it might be flat, but you can see that, yeah, he has been into the wall.
And Lake Speed is slow on the racetrack for some reason. Now he's back up to speed, all these cars, able to get by Lake Speed. There's their leader. Jeff Burton, as he goes by, trying to go by the pole sitter, Bill Elliott to put him a lap down. That would be 24th spot Elliott's running in, and now just 23 cars in the lead lap.
Man, and Bill was so strong at the first of the race, and now goes a lap down.
He told us on, let's see if we can see what happened to, oh, there's Darling back up against the wall as he comes off turn 2.
Yeah, he got into it pretty good, and he needed to come to the pits.
Let's see if we can see what happened to late speed.
He's the red car up there right in front of Kenny Schrader. The green car, number 33. They get together just a little bit. Speed does a good job of hanging on and not getting that car into the wall. And here's Mark Martin working on Dale Earnhardt.
That's a battle for 16th spot. 25 car Craven is in 15th spot. In the garage area earlier on, fixing a broken radiator. He's now back in the race, and he's, what, 86 laps down there?
86 laps down. 22 cars on the lead lap. Bobby Labonte now is the last car, as Sterling Marlin has just gone a lap down to Jeff Burton. Check the speeds at the line, see how they're running now. Tires, got good tires, 116.9 for Burton. Gordon not too far behind him.
And look at Dale Jarrett that time had the fastest speed, 117.233 as he goes back through the field. So far, Dale Jarrett's speed is the fastest time.
Jeff Bodine, they're in the QBC Ford, number 7, running in 4th place. John Kernan, can you add more?
Well, I came up to check with the crew to see if they had done a 2-tire change because they picked up so much ground. They came in running in the 10th spot after starting 31st on their pit stop on lap 103, a few laps before some of the other cars. And they took on 4 tires, made no changes in just a little over 20 seconds, but they went out in the 5th position. Jeff running a few laps before some of the other leaders came in for their pit stop, was running much faster, so he gained a lot of time out there on the track. So good, smart strategy coming in the pit just a few laps before the leaders.
And once again, Dale Jarrett will show the fastest lap. We'll check him again as they go by.
Don't think he'll get it this time, Benny. He's behind those couple of cars there. John Andretti in number 98 and Rick Mast in number 75. Andretti is 1 lap down in 29th position, and so is Rick Mast. He's 1 lap down, and, well, he's in 29th now, and Andretti moved up to 28.
Now we go back to find that Ted Musgrave had the fastest speed that time. We'll try it once again. See how it works out.
A couple of cars on pit road. Dutch Bricklin had stopped earlier than everybody else before, and Jeff Green also is in the pits now.
Wow, the 99 car ran 117.157 miles per hour. Jerry Clutch?
Hey, just a moment ago, Buddy Parent radioed Jeff Burton, said he was a little bit concerned about using up the race car. There wasn't anything but just silence for a moment, and then Jeff Burton radioed back and said, hey, buddy, I'm just riding.
Well, that's nice to be able to do that, run as fast as he is and not straining the car whatsoever.
Kenny Schrader, who ran so well earlier on, looks like he's in jeopardy of going a lap down in 20th spot.
He's the green car right in, not that green car that Burton is passing, that's Chad Little, but the next green car there is Kenny Schrader, the number 33 Skoll car, and Terry Labonte, the defending Winston Cup champion, is not far up there either in the 5 car.
Jeff Burton has about a 2.5-second lead on Jeff Gordon as 143 laps are completed at the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400. It's a Saturday night, and where better to be than a short track for some good old-fashioned stock car racing. And we have seen lots of action in the first 145 laps. That was Rusty Wallace earlier. Here's the onboard camera from Hutz Bricklin as he maneuvered through. And now Mark Martin's onboard camera when he got clobbered by Ernie Irvin a little bit earlier in the race. All those cars, however, are still running, and the green flag remains out as Jeff Burton has about a 3.8-second advantage on Jeff Gordon. Now take a look at the fastest laps that have been turned in tonight. Jeff Burton has the 5 fastest laps. Really, there are only 4 drivers in that list that have the top 10 speeds.
How about that? Jeff Burton on lap 27 ran the fastest lap of the race, 120.5. You know, last week at Darlington in the Southern 500, I looked this week, the fastest lap was run by Jeff Gordon on lap 3:04. So those guys, the Rainbow Warriors, kept working on that car, working on it, and finally, by 3:04, he was able to turn the fastest lap. And there he is, Jeff Gordon I was talking about. Jerry Punch?
All right, early tonight we told you Jeff Gordon had a problem with the car being very, very tight early on. Now, during that pit stop, they took a rubber out of the right front, and the car has been driving very well, although just recently, Dallas complained that the car has gotten loose in the right rear coming off the corner. As Bill Elliott comes back in the pit, the pole fitter brings his car back down pit road for an unscheduled stop.
$98,800 worth of Unocal bonus money is up for grabs here. Bill Elliott is the eligible driver. And the guy who started on the outside of the front row beside Bill, Kenny Irwin Jr., in his Winston Cup debut, is hanging in there in 6th spot.
Yes, I'm impressed with Kenny Irwin. You see Rusty and Dale Earnhardt, the 3 car, the Goodrich Chevy, has gone a lap down to the leader, Jeff Burton. Right now, Earnhardt is running in 17th spot.
David Green goes another lap down in the cat car number 96. David is in 38th position, 4 laps down.
And Jeff Burton, his team this year, Buddy Parrott, Jeff Burton, Frankie started all those guys, have been so impressive with the job they've done in 1997. We see Jeff Bodine, Dale Jarrett batting for the 4th spot. And you see Sterling Marlin peeling off coming down pit road. Oh, some contact between Brett Bodine, the 11th car, and Dale Jarrett. We see Bill Elliott, the pole sitter, just made that stop, so he's got those fresh tires. He should pass these guys fairly easy.
Oh, yeah, he'll blow them right off.
And there's the battle for Richmond. Looks like that's 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. The 90 car went in this battle running 11th. I think he's supposed out running about 14th. Ricky Rudd in the 10 car is not in the lead lap for these cars.
Ricky is 1 lap down in 29th position.
Jeff Burton still continues to pull away from Jeff Gordon over 4 seconds now.
Kenny Wallace has now gone a lap down, so there are only 15 cars on the lead lap, and that 25 car right there of Ricky Craven would be the next car to go a lap down, and the leader's not too far behind him.
Man. This would be a pretty special victory for Jeff Burton. EXIDE sponsoring the race, also sponsors his car. He grew up in South Boston, Virginia, about 70 miles down the road from Richmond. Bill Weber.
And BP, plenty of family and friends here for Jeff Burton as well, but it's not only how fast you go here at Richmond, sometimes it's how fast you stop. And Buddy Parrott has warned his driver about his brakes. He just told Jeff, you're setting a good pace, but don't forget about the brakes. Start letting off as early as you're comfortable. Let the brakes get some air. They will make an air pressure adjustment during their next pit stop. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Bill Elliott made that unscheduled stop, and he may have a problem. He told you about how loose the car was. He made an adjustment on his first stop, and it didn't help the car at all. He just came back in. They unhooked the sway bar, changed the right side tires, and took the rubber out of the right, and it still really hasn't helped very much. Mike Beam thinks they may have a problem with a broken ratchet in the rear end.
Elliott led 43 laps laps of this race, but now has dropped way back to 36th position.
Talk about using the brakes, and at night you can see exactly what they're talking about. As Jeff Bird goes down the corner, just a moment ago I could see the rotor. See the rotor? Cherry red as it goes down in the corner. That's what he's talking about, being easy on the brakes. They just develop a tremendous amount of heat because there's just no room to cool the brakes. They run air hoses on the right front, back to the brakes. The straightaways are just so short. Watch that rotor as it goes down the corner. See if that rotor is cherry red?
Just trying to put a lap on the 15th place car of Ricky Craven.
164 laps completed here at a sold-out Richmond International Raceway, as over 100,000 people have gathered to watch this NASCAR Winston Cup event. Back in a moment. The lights of the city of Richmond, Virginia, and Richmond International Raceway is located just outside the city limits and in Rico County. In these overhead shots, courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam.
And Chad Little has spun. Caution is out.
That damage he did earlier. And here comes Jeff Burton, and Ricky Craven will not get a lap back. Burton will put him a lap down. And Bobby Hamilton, we see the STP Pontiac ran so well. The next car to go a lap down, he'll get to make up 3/4 of a mile as he closes it on the back of the field.
Coming out of turn 2, we'll see him come into the frame by himself right there and just loses it. Around the John Deere Pontiac goes. Down to the inside retaining wall. Well, yeah, there he hit it with the left front.
Just touch it with the left front. So you can see all that damage to the nose of the car happened earlier in the race. Boy, a lot of guys have said, thank goodness that caution play.
Yeah, they want to get on pit road and get on some new tires, and the pit stops are happening now.
Just a little loose, expecting 4 tires and fuel as they swing around to the left side. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
Air pressure adjustment on the left rear as you see the 924 and the 42, and there's the 99 pulling away. Jerry Punch.
The 24 and 99 are side by side. Nemechek is now down, and it looks like it'll be a 10 even heat. Looks like a 24 may have a shot. NASCAR will have to make the call.
Gordon with just a little bit slower overall pit stop because he was further down. He may have gotten the lead from Jeff, but Jeff is in front of him out there on the backstretch.
Well, as Jerry said, NASCAR will make that decision, and they'll put the cars where they need to go to be aligned properly.
Those 13 cars on the lead lap came in that time, made pit stops. There you see other cars coming in that are 1 or more laps down coming into the pits. Tough wreck for Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott made a green flag pit stop, and here's the 27 car of Kenny Irwin. And did he miss the pits, Jerry, the first time, or failed to come in?
Yes, Ned, that's a rookie mistake. Unfortunately, he did not hear or heed the pit call. In fact, when they were here 2 weeks ago testing, he ran 300 laps, and part of what they was how to get on and off pit road. The first time he came in and pitted, he stopped too soon in someone else's pit. This time, he missed the pit call. Obviously a rookie mistake, but he will learn.
Winner's Circle by Hasbro, the sponsor on Kenny Irwin's car this race, and I think the other 4 races in 1997.
Caution is out here at Richmond International Raceway once again because of an incident on the backstretch involving Chad Little. We'll be right back. This Sunday on the Game of the Week. Cleveland used to be Albertstown. He was loved by the Indian faithful. He is now a White Sox on a team that was given up for dead. Somehow the Sox have stayed in the division race, and this Sunday, Frank Thomas and Albert Bell go to Cleveland with the division title on the line. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Well, all the adjustments have been made. We'll see who now is going to have the fastest car. On a caution flag, able to take more time. On lap 172, this is what brought out the caution flag. Look at Chad Little, the car right in front of Bobby Labonte. He gets a little loose off the corner, and around he goes. Labonte didn't even have to crack the throttle. Another view. Watch the car as he comes off the corner. Just loses control. When he gets this position, he nails the gasoline. Tries to keep it off the wall. He keeps the rear off the wall, but the front just touches it ever so gently.
John Kernan has a report.
The front tire changer on Steve Grissom's car, George Gazelski, has a new air gun this pit stop. That's because on the last pit stop, this sheared off. Look at this, where the socket connects to the anvil, the shaft right here, where he had 4 lug nuts off the left front tire, and then boom, it sheared right off. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that happen before. Do you guys?
Don't think I have.
Nope, that is rare.
Still under caution, so we'll sneak in another commercial break here with 178 laps completed at Richmond. ESPN Speed World tonight at Richmond International Raceway in Virginia for the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400, being brought to you by Firestone, America's #1 tire since 1900. By Miller Lite, to remind you that anything can happen at Miller time. And by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust.
And right now, we have Jeff Burton leading the race, the 99 car. 24 car, Jeff Gordon in second, and Joe Nemechek in third. Meanwhile, the 25 and 5, both those cars have gotten by the 99 back on the tail end of the lead lap, and they want to stay there. But right now, they're holding up Jeff Burton a little bit.
25 car of Ricky Craven has pulled away a little bit, but both the 5 and 25 cars are teammates of Jeff Gordon, and he said, hey, get me a little bit here, let me catch up, and I need to lead a lap. I don't think Gordon's led a lap yet, has he, Bob?
No. 6 leaders so far: Burton, Elliott, Hamilton, Irwin, Speed, and Martin, and Jeff has led the most, 83. And counting.
Jeff Burton leads.
That's what I said, isn't it?
Okay, Jeff
Burton, yeah. Gordon has 11 laps.
That's true. And there's almost a battle for the 4th spot, and it is a battle. As Dale Jarrett gets on the inside of Jeff Bodine. He'll take that spot away. Bodine will dive down. Oh, not quick enough. Jimmy Spencer gets on the inside. Spencer is not on the lead lap.
He's a lap down in 16th position. He's the first car that's lap down. 37 car there.
He is on the lead lap.
Jeremy Mayfield is on your right on the lead lap. He's in 6th position.
So he and Jeff Bodine battling for position as Dale Earnhardt, the Goodrich Chevy, tries to march his way towards the front. Ernie Irving, he is in the EC7 spot. Rusty Wallace is in 8th. Oh, late Ted Musgrave in 9th. Catches the apron with the left front tire as he tried to exit turn 4. Almost got sideways. Oh, somebody must be on the inside of him as he drifts up the racetrack. Check the speeds as they go by. We see 119 miles per hour for the 99 car, and that was the fastest speed recorded that lap. Dale Jarrett had the second fastest speed.
He's got Jimmy Spencer right on his back bumper trying to move around. He says Spencer's a lap down.
by the lap car of Bill Elliott. Bill, what's going on with the 2018?
Well, Benny, during that last round of caution flag pit stops, the front tire changer for the Texaco Havoline Ford, Robbie Hancock, was flipped by Mark Martin as Mark pulled into pit road. Now, apparently, Robbie was briefly trapped underneath the car when Mark went by his legs, but he's okay for now. He was able to walk to the ambulance, and they took him to the infield care center. He is replacing Joey Knuckles, who recently left the team. This is his first race for the 2018. He has been changing tires for 14 years, and I've just been told that Mark Reno, the crew chief, will replace Robbie Hancock on the next pit stop. But he was able to walk to the ambulance. He's being examined in the infield care center.
Wow. Ernie Irvin started 40th. At one time was 40th position, is now in 7th spot. And we saw him jump in the air when he ran in the back of Mark Martin.
You see the damage on the right side of the Texaco Ford, number 28, and that's where he got into Mark Martin, went off the ground, as Benny said, and stayed on the lead lap, and now he's running right up there with the leader. Won this race a year ago, so he knows how to get around here.
All three of those cars battling for position. 37-28. Now back to leader. You know, he's pulling away from Jeff Gordon, but meanwhile, those cars that are out in front of him, Craven and LeBon, are pulling away from the leader.
Buddy Parrott has told Jeff Burton, he said, hey, Jeff, you simply have to save your tires. He said, Gordon is just laying back there waiting on you to burn them up. He said, you know, in 10 to 15 more laps, your tires will be coming in and you'll be great. Meanwhile, Ray Evernham has told his driver, Jeff Gordon, that you need to be able to start running a little bit higher groove. He says, Jeff, think of this racetrack as a dirt track. Run the middle, the outside groove, up near the cushion a little more. Run them down in the line. That will help save that right front tire.
He comes off turn 4 a little bit higher than he has been. He goes in turn 1, and he also drifts up the racetrack just a little bit. Looks like he's listening to him, Jerry.
Brooke looks on as Jeff runs in second spot here this evening. As we are nearing the halfway point, in just 3 more laps, we'll be at halfway. Jeff Burton leads at Richmond International Raceway. Back at Richmond, where we've completed now 203 laps, so we're past halfway. Jeff Burton was the leader at the halfway point, and 7 times the leader at the halfway point has gone on to victory. There is Jeff Gordon, who runs second, a little more than 3/4 of a second behind Jeff Burton.
Jimmy Spencer a lap down. Never seen a 42 car. Joe Nemechek, Bell South car, in 3rd spot. Dale Jarrett, Ford Quality Care car, will run in 4th spot.
He's running in the 5th spot in the car number 7. And Ernie Irvin moved up to 6th. Havoline Ford.
Kenny Schrader's a lap down in the Skoll car. We see Jeremy Mayfield in 7th spot. Kmart Ford running well this afternoon. The Rusty Wallace right behind him in the white car, who once again spun earlier on. He's in 8th spot. And we'll look right behind him, Miller Lite Ford, and you'll see Ted Musgrave. There he is, Family Channel, Flying Star Ford. And as we look from Musgrave's car forward to Rusty Wallace, the 8th place car.
Next in line will be Bobby Hamilton in the STC Pontiac. Bill Elliott there is 3 laps down. He got caught after making a green flag pit stop. And Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford is the 11th place car. He's about 9 2/10 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton. The
leader's brother, Ward Burton, who will be our next car in line, the MBNA Pontiac, in 12th spot, about 10 seconds behind his brother. There we see the 30 car of Johnny Benson, the Pennzoil car, lap down. And Kenny Irwin on the outside pole. He's still on the lead lap in 13th spot. He is over 11.5 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton.
About a half a lap behind Kenny Irwin is the number 25 of Ricky Craven. Now, he jumped out in front of the leader, got back in the lead lap, and has pulled away here the last few laps in the Budweiser Chevrolet. So he's not in too much danger right now of going another lap down. He is running in 14th position. 15 cars on the lead lap.
He started running a higher line around the racetrack, all on both corners, and it's worked for him. He's able to pull away from the leader and Terry Labonte.
Now, the last car on the lead lap is Terry Labonte in the Kellogg Chevrolet number 5.
We saw that graphic earlier that Jeff Burton had the first 5 fastest speeds. Right now, Terry Labonte and Ricky Craven have moved into the fastest laps. Labonte and Craven both on lap 181 ran over 120 miles per hour.
That was right after the restart of this race. They had new tires on. They jumped out in front of Jeff Burton and have stayed up there.
And one reason these tires, as Ned talked about, and the air getting a little bit cooler, a little bit heavier, therefore the cars make a little bit more horsepower. But now, as those tires are getting worn, Jeff Burton's car showing that he's a little superior to these cars. Want to put Labonte, or try his best to put Labonte a lap down.
Well, Terry had to run awfully hard, had to abuse his tires to stay out there, where Jeff Burton has been able to run pretty smooth and save his tires as much as possible. But now it's beginning to tell.
And Labonte moved up. When Jeff Burton went in the corner under, he moved up and let him go by and discovered that high groove is working pretty good. Yeah. Watch as he pulls away from Burton a car length. That's the groove that I was talking about that Ricky Craven was running. Dale Jarrett caught up with Joe Nemechek. This will be a battle for third spot. It is a battle for third spot, I should say.
Jarrett looking to the inside of Joe. Nemechek has had a great race so far, staying in there in third position.
2 3/4 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon is only a half second behind the leader.
There's Jimmy Spencer right in front of him. Jimmy has been very fast there for a while, but his car sort of leveled out now. He apparently abused his tires a little bit as he passed both Jarrett and Nemechek. But he is a lap down. He's the first car that is a lap down. He's in 16th position.
Napa Field summary shows you that Dale Earnhardt, who made a charge from his 22nd starting position early in the race, now a lap down in 17th.
Jeff Gordon is closing in slowly on Jeff Burton.
And Jarrett's closing in ever so slowly on the 42 car of Nemechek.
Sterling Marlin is shown off the track, and one car officially out. That is Robbie Gordon.
Sterling Marlin had a transmission problem in the garage replacement transmission. Well, these cars are so close, man. It's just so difficult to pass. They all run at almost the same speed.
They did. They qualified almost the same speed. We mentioned at the top of the show that just a fraction over a third of a second separated the fastest qualifier from the slowest qualifier to make this field. Here's Jeff Burton looking on the inside once again of Terry Labonte as they head down into turn 1. And boy, he's getting those brake rotors heated up now, Benny. He's having to use them pretty heavy now as he tries to pass the Terry Labonte car. Jerry Putch
Well, Ned, you could read my mind. A lot of teams out here are pointing to that 99 when he comes by. We're going to try to give you a shot. If we can catch the left front brake is absolutely ablaze when he comes by, trying to get by the 5 car. Here he comes again. Look at the left front brake. See the flame coming out. The brakes are red hot on the EXIDE 4. That means he is really using them, trying to get by Terry Labonte.
And the interval now is just about a car length and a half between the leader, Jeff Burton, and second place, Jeff Gordon. We'll take another break and be right back to Richmond International Raceway. 2 lead cars in heavy traffic once again. They have put Ricky Craven and Terry Labonte down a lap, and now they look toward Michael Waltrip, and up ahead is Mike Skinner as Bobby Labonte is in the pits.
That's some major problems for the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. John Kernan?
Well, Bobby had radioed in about 20 laps ago that he thought either the alternator or the battery was going bad, so they've had to come in and change batteries. The belts were on the alternator, but the crew telling me that it was a problem with the alternator, so not charging the battery. So I guess they're lucky the battery lasted as long as it did.
Got his Baltimore Colts helmet on.
I beg your pardon?
Is that the Indianapolis?
That's the Indianapolis Colts, Mr. Parsons.
Used to be Baltimore Colts.
Man, oh man.
I thought I'd get a rise out of you Indianapolis Colts for that.
Cow.
I know it's the Baltimore Ravens. I know that. Pull your leg, okay?
That hurt, though. Take a look at the Busch race recap. Jeff Burton has led 129 of the first 230 laps. We've had 6 lead changes, 3 caution periods totaling 16 laps. The average speed is almost 106 miles an hour. Those who have picked up 5 bonus points for leading a lap: Burton, Elliott, Hamilton, Irwin, and Speed. And also Mark Martin, who has led just 1 lap. We have, as far as out of race, only 1, Robbie Gordon, and we don't have anybody that is now off the track.
Jeff Gordon just hanging in there, right on the back bumper of Jeff Burton. We'll keep the camera there and watch all the cars go by, so take a look and see where your favorite guy is. Bobby Labonte goes by. He's back. There's the 43 cars. Brett Bodine goes by. Kyle Petty. And we're back to the lead as they go by Hutch Smith in the Circuit City car.
Putting him 3 laps down. He's in 28th spot.
Here's another car that stopped, and he's motioned to tell the 24 car that he's going to the pits. So everybody slow down. I'm heading for the pits.
He has been out of sequence all night on pit stops, coming in a good bit earlier than anybody else. And Ernie Irvin slowing down.
He's up against the wall. It looks like he has made contact with the wall.
He had a lot of damage already to the right side, and it looks like the right front tire is flat, Benny.
Yes. Some heavy smoke coming off that right front. Now it's completely flat. He's trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. He will, but can he get back to the pits?
Oh, what a tough break for Ernie. He's come from way back and gotten back up into the top 10, but now got a long way to go to get back to the pits and can do a lot of damage to that right front with that tire, all that rubber coming off and slapping around up there on lines and everything else.
Let's update the injury report to the tire changer, Bill.
And Bob, that's good news. Robbie Hancock has been released from the infield care unit. They say there's no bruising, no damage, no fracture. They actually cleared him to change tires, but instead, Robert Yates sent him back to the transporter to rest. They've gotten a tire changer from the 27 team, Kenny Irwin's team. Of course, a lot of interplay between that team and the Yates team. Right now, Ernie Irvin limps to a stop here on pit road. They had to lift the car to get the jack underneath. They jack up the right side. They'll change the right side tires. They've got a hammer there to use to try and bang the sheet metal away. First they reach in to try and knock some of that shredded rubber out from the wheel well. Around to the left side, they will change 4 tires, going to the left rear and the left front. Old tires off, tightening into lunch now. Ernie Irvin sits here painfully long stop under the green. Top it off with fuel, waiting on the left rear. Now Ernie's on his way, right side damage, 4 fresh tires, but he lost very, very valuable track position.
Ernie made his first NASCAR Winston Cup start here 10 years ago tonight.
Well, let's see what did happen. It's up awfully close to the wall there, but that looks okay. And there, the tire went flat, and he slides it sideways up. I don't believe he hit the wall, Benny.
I don't
Boy,
believe
he
he
kept
did
it off. Great job of driving after that right front tire went flat, and you can see it is flat there right now.
Wow. And we see that Jeff Bodine, the 7th car, has gotten by Nemechek in the 42 car and moved into the 4th spot.
And Nemechek tried to get back by him, but he almost lost it. Jimmy Spencer has lost the luster on his Ford. He was fast there for a while, but the tires have worn, and he heated them up. Slipping and sliding.
Wow, there is the tire that came off of Ernie Irvin's car. Ernie's back in the race, though. He's fighting back now from 29th position, 3 laps down. We'll be right back.
This is Bob Barsha. 2 men have a shot at the PPG Cup and the $1 million bonus that goes with it. Alex Zanardi and Jill DeFerrin will be in the field for the Toyota Grand Prix of Monterey featuring the Texaco 300. Join us at 3 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN.
Well, Alex Zanardi did not win the CART PPG title last week. In fact, was fined and put on probation for rough driving, but he could clinch the title tomorrow, so we'll see. There's Jeff Burton on the right of your screen. He's the leader of our NASCAR Winston Cup race here tonight. And you can visit the NASCAR website at www.nascar.com and find out all kinds of things. The graphic displays the top 5 cars as they cross the finish line, showing their relative proximity to the leader. Plus, monitoring the intervals between each of the top 5 cars and the leader, just one of the many things that you'll find on NASCAR online.
And Rusty Wallace saw some smoke out of epic dogfight, and the leader in traffic trying to get by the Brett Bodine car. Put him another lap down.
Brett Bodine is in 22nd position, 2 laps down now.
Looked like he had a close call as he came off the corner,
so to speak.
Come off the corner, and yes, little contact between the 2 cars, but nothing more than you would expect on a short track on a Saturday night. Bedine's got a pretty good run going tonight. Pretty decent. Again, he's a couple of laps down, but he's keeping up the leader pretty good.
A lot of green flag laps here tonight, which has caused a lot of cars to go a lap down, even though they're not far off the pace.
Gordon, second place. The 22 and 27 are battling for 9th spots. Ward Burton and Kenny Irwin.
Been battling for the last 20 laps. We see Irwin dive down to the inside. Burton moves up the racetrack, gets that momentum off the corner.
Well, the kid has stayed on the lead lap so far and done a fine job.
Yes, he has. Kenny Irwin in the 27 car. His very first NASCAR Winston Cup race. Start on the outside pole. We're talking about the 27 car, and he's made a great account of himself tonight.
An open wheel driver, and of course also drives in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Walker has made a pit stop.
He has 2 wins this year in the Truck Series and finished 4th here in Friday night's race. Jerry Punch.
You know, Kenny Irwin doesn't have a lot of experience, but some guys in his crew do. We're talking about Robert Shorty Edwards, who spent about 3 decades with Junior Johnson, along with drivers like Bobby Allison, Kel Yarborough, Darrell Walsh, Terry Labonte. You get the idea. Well, what Shorty did before the race is he talked to his young driver. He said, now listen, Kenny, he said, don't be intimidated here tonight. Don't be foolish. He said, you got to earn their respect sometime, so you might as well start tonight.
Got by Ward Burton, moved into that 9th spot. one car, the R&L Pontiac. That's Lance Hooper, the NASCAR Winston West champion in 1996. Oh, and he got hung. The Kitty Early got hung behind the one car, and Ward Burton gets back behind.
He said, I worked so hard to get that position. And Joe Nemechek is headed for the pits. He has really started slipping and sliding all over the racetrack, Jerry, so he needs some new rubber on that car.
Exactly, Ned. He had just commented a moment ago, I am loose, big loose. The two words he said, big loose. Now he brings the Bell South Chevrolet, which they have nicknamed Nightmare. After the weekend they had the brand new race car. And again, they come in, will change right side tires, two tires right side, now to the left side. Jack's coming around, they get it full of fuel, one can of fuel in. Trouble now, they're going to make a chassis adjustment on the track bar. Actually, they're going to add some bite in the left rear. They probably have 1 round, 2 rounds of bite. Left rear tire on, and he is down and away at 24 seconds even.
Oh, Bobby Labonte with those fresh tires. Just by Dick Triple, he closed in right on the back bumper of the leader, and Burton goes high on the racetrack, and Labonte closed in right on the back bumper. Once again, evidence how much better the cars run with that fresh rubber on them.
Yeah, he's 7 laps down. They had to change the alternator on the Interstate Battery car, but he's going fast now.
And we expect more pit stops to happen very soon. Dale Earnhardt has just made a pit stop, has gone back out there. So we'll take a break here and be back in just a moment for more NASCAR Winston Cup racing. You look down at the more than 100,000 people that have gathered here tonight. That's a Richmond International Raceway record and a record for a sporting event in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Stay tuned for Sports Center coming up right after our race here tonight. They'll catch you up on everything that's going on in the world of baseball, college football, and tennis. Sports Center up next after the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400, which is 266 laps old.
And Jeff Burton still continues to lead in the EXIDE Batteries Ford. Jeff Gordon is in second spot.
And he's not running near as fast as Burton is right now. He's losing ground to him and also to the 3rd and 4th place cars of Dale Jarrett and Jeff Bodine. Bodine has caught Jarrett, so he's really on the move.
There's our leader, Jeff Burton. He enjoys over a 3.5-second lead. Steve Grissom, the 41 car, the Kodiak car, just made a pit stop and watch those fresh tires go by. We'll go back, and there's Jimmy Spencer also made a pit stop with fresh tires. See Jeff Gordon, the second place car. And this time, almost 4 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton.
He is really struggling coming off turn 2 in particular. You see Jeff Bodine has passed Dale Jarrett, taken over 3rd, and right here is where Bodine is making up a lot of time coming off of turn 2.
Earnhardt and Kenny Schrader both have made pit stops, and those fresh tires, once again, clearly better than those tires that are worn.
I was wrong there. It was turn 4 they were coming off of, but turn 2 is where Gordon is losing some time. And Earnhardt with those fresh tires, and also the 33 car Kenny Schrader was in not too long ago. He has fresh tires. Boy,
they are battling for position, though. They're battling for the 22nd spot, Earnhardt and Schrader.
Jeff Bodine, the 7 car, the 6 car, getting closer and closer to Jeff Gordon. There we see just a couple of car lengths back. Terry Labonte just made a pit stop to Kellogg's Chevrolet. He's just going back on the racetrack.
And here's Bodine coming up. He's going to try a look on the outside, but couldn't do it there. Now he tries it on the outside once again. Gordon gives him running room up there. He's come off by the start-finish line off turn 4, and Jeff Bodine takes over second.
The last 6 races, Jeff Bodine has averaged a 10th place finish. That team is sorting things out. Jerry, seems like the 24, the 99 are staying out there. How come?
Well, Bob, they've been saying we can go about 100 laps on tires. They last pitted on lap 173, which means 100 laps will put them coming in at lap 273, which is exactly right now. But they're not going to come because if you calculate the fuel mileage, if they can go to lap 280, Jeff Gordon can make it the rest of the way, and so could the 99 car. But then again, who would have the best tires at final 120 laps? But you got to at least make them stay out there and have a shot at making it with fuel mileage. So right now, they're going to go about another 5 to 7 to 10 laps, and then pit for what would be their final stop if it were to come down to fuel.
Well, check this out. Rusty Wallace in fourth spot moves up. He's going to take over third spot from Jeff Gordon and does it. Folks, we soon, didn't I?
Well, here comes Ricky Rudd with new tires on, 3 abreast going into the corner. Somebody's got to give. And Jeff Gordon does.
Jeff Gordon, let me add the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader game.
Yes.
Dale Jarrett is closing the back of Jeff Gordon. But there again, as Jerry Punch reported, sure Jeff Gordon needs to go in. He needs to get tires. But as he said, Jerry said he needs to get lap 280. And he's going to stay out there. He's going to stay out there until he gets to that 280, no matter how slow he goes.
Well, he was the slowest of the top 6 on that last lap, down to 110 miles an hour. And Rusty Wallace is the fastest of all of them. Boy, this battle between Ward Burton and car number 22 and 27 of Kenny Irwin Jr. still rages. Looks like Irwin might have him once again. Well, I don't know. Burton comes back up on the outside. Now, Irwin does get the spot. It looks like the 88 car is headed for the pits.
John Kerner. Dale Jarrett dropping back to 5th place now. He comes in to the pits for a 4-tire change. Add a pound of air pressure to the right rear tire. And also, we expect him to make a chassis adjustment, adding 1 round of bite. Already done that. Now the right sides are done. Now goes the chassis wrench goes into that left side to put the round in. Left side tires coming off. Going on with the left side. DJ keeping the motor revved up in a really quick pit stop. 19.9 seconds.
Jerry goes down pit road. That's really got to be speed limit.
Jeff Burton has just completed the 280th lap, so we'll see Gordon and some others possibly pitting here before long.
And Rusty Wallace moves up. This is a battle for second spot, and puts Rusty in second.
Well, his car is good on long runs, and that's what he needs.
In the last 10 races, Rusty leads all drivers in 4 categories: number of wins, number of top 10s, average finish, and the number of laps led. Jeff Gordon is second in the number of laps led category, but there is quite a difference between Rusty and Jeff.
Kenny Irwin now headed for the pits. Jerry Punch.
All right, 28-year-old Kenny Irwin coming down. He expects to put 4 tires on his Ford, the winner circle through, and they will put right side and left side tires on his car. And meanwhile, they have gotten to lap 280, and now Ray Evernham will call Jeff Gordon down pit road. Right side tires have already gone on the Kenny Irwin car as Gordon comes in and brings the DuPont Chevrolet to a halt. They have not planned any major adjustment. They will clean the windshield, change right and left side tires on Gordon. They had to get at least a lap 280 to 283. It is lap 283 right now. Left side tires going on. Just behind him, the car number 99 is in. That is Jeff Burton. As Gordon is out of the way, we'll check in with Bill Weber.
Jeff Burton sliding into his stall, has his right side tires on. Now they'll swing around to the left side. Smooth pit stop so far. Left front on. Left rear going on. Fuel going in. Left rear tire gets away briefly. The hood is up on Mark Martin's car behind. The Burton's away. John Turner. Jeff Bodine is in for a 4-tire change in fuel. We don't expect any chassis adjustments. They're already done on the right side. Back around to the left side. Mark Martin got the hood up. Now Jeff Bodine's crew is done with their work and away. And the pit stops continue here on pit road. Mark Martin has pulled away. Rusty Wallace is about to slide into his stall here with 285 laps on the board. They're very convinced they have a good car despite their early problems in that spin he had in final practice. Right side tires going on the Miller Lite board. Robin Pemberton crew chief overseeing the pit stop. Now they swing around to the left side. Fuel going in. Now the left front, left rear, tightening the lug nuts. Waiting on the left front. 20.8. Rusty's back on to the track.
Jeff Bodine goes by. He will take the spot away.
And guys, after all of these pit stops have been made, guess who's going to be the leader?
Joe Nemechek.
Joe Nemechek, because he stopped a long time ago.
Now watch this pit stop by Frankie Stoddard. Frankie Stoddard, the left front tire changer. And watch this. The tire's rolling out. He thought he was going to run into his car. And look, he dived after that tire to keep it from hitting his car.
Little extra effort there. So Jeff Burton is going to be second, but Joe Nemechek is going to be the leader of this race.
He made his pit stop early and was running a lot faster out there on the racetrack than the others, and that let him gain that much time. But they'll be able to gain good on him now. In fact, they're picking up over a half a second a lap on him right now because his tires are now beginning to heat up. He's got about 20 laps on them.
He has a 7-second lead on Jeff Burton, but he stopped on lap 2:56. And if you said that, he had the advantage of 25 laps running with those new tires.
112 laps remain in this race as 288 have been completed. Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Bodine, the top five. Joe Nemechek leads the EXIDE NASCAR Select Batteries 400, leading his first laps here at Richmond International Raceway in 8 events.
Now, Benny mentioned right before we went to break that he had a 7-second lead. It's down now to 4.4 because they are picking up almost a half a second a lap. Jeff Burton is, who is running in second place.
An oil pump belt brought Mark Martin in, cost him laps, and he's now in 25th position. So if NASCAR points were awarded right now, Jeff Gordon would have a 92-point advantage on Mark Martin. Bill Weber.
And Bob, what happened there, the power steering belt came off on Mark Martin's car, and when it left, it decided to take the oil pump belt with it. So they came in during that pit stop, they got the oil pump belt back on, but not the power steering belt.
Well, that little guy's going to use all of his muscles tonight to wrestle that car for the next 120 laps.
You're seeing showing 25th now, 2 laps down.
There are the points if they were awarded now. Martin 92 behind. Jarrett would stay in third. Jeff Burton would move up 1 to 4th, and Terry Labonte down 1 position to 5th. As far as the second 5 are concerned, the 6th, 7th, and 8th would stay the same. Musgrave would move up a spot, and so would Jeremy Mayfield into the top 10.
Jeff Burton's going to be close to leading the most laps, isn't he?
Right now, he has led 182, so yes, he is already clinched that.
Racing run down the screen. Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Bodine. Boy, a bunch of Jeffs in that group. Rusty Wallace, Jeremy Mayfield. Great run for Jeremy Mayfield. We'll see Bobby Hamilton back in the lead out. Musgrave and Ward Burton. The 11th place car will be the 27 of Kenny Irwin. Ward Burton and Kenny Irwin right now is a lap down to this car. Whoops, they're trying to get a lap back. Ward's trying to get a lap back right now.
He has fresher tires. The 22 has fresher tires, then does the 42. So he's able to move on around. Fresher tires by some 20 to 25 laps. There you see the speeds there in the 99 of Jeff Burton, over 118 miles an hour. Of course, he has about 25 lap fresher tires, then does Joe Nemechek. Makes a world of difference. bring that lead down.
But all this traffic he's caught in right, it's going to take Jeff Burton several laps to weave his way through this traffic. Last time we saw 117.9. We'll see what he does this time. 116.6, so he lost 1.3 miles per hour as he tries to get through this traffic. And he will run the same speed, no faster than that the next lap.
Jeff Green there in the 29 car celebrating his 35th birthday today. Back in 34th spot, 5 laps down.
Dale Jarrett that time was faster than the 99 car. The car back in 3rd spot.
But Jarrett was out in the racetrack by himself. No one even close to him, so that makes a difference. Burton in this heavy traffic.
And Rusty Wallace is getting the handle on his car. That time was the 2nd fastest car. Let's see Jarrett go by. He's the 3rd place car. Jeff Gordon, and here comes... That's Mark Martin, I'm sorry. Here's Rusty Wallace.
They had a longer than usual pit stop for that crew.
Looks like they might have made a change on the right side. They might have jerked the rubber out of something on the right side of that car.
Rusty up to 6th spot now. As Joe Nemechek is the leader over Jeff Burton and Dale Jarrett. We'll be right back. Track backs are brought to you by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves.
Preparation and organization are the key in NASCAR to getting things done efficiently and in a hurry. Let me show you. There's a manual they use here in the Richard Childress pits. Behind me it says damage repair procedure. Light damage can be repaired on pit road. Remain calm. That's important. Assess the damage. Get a visual inspection, a driver report, and a spotter report. Now, let's go over here. They have transmission replacement. Remain calm. Use heat gloves. Mike asked, use floor jack to put car on stands. Gary and Melvin have 4 jack stands ready, at least 1 full match high. Okay, over here, so maybe clutch problem repair. Use heat gloves. Mike asked, use floor jack to put car on stands. Gary G and Melvin have 4 jack stands ready, at least 1 full notch high. Stan G and Jim J remove transmission and cross member. You see, they are so well organized, it's almost like a Broadway play. Every single individual has a part they've memorized. They know exactly what to do under each individual circumstance.
Well, we have a new leader, folks. Jeff Burton has passed Joe Nemechek and gone into the lead. Moments ago, we saw some smoke, however, out of the 99. Can we determine from where it came and what might be the problem?
Watch as he comes down the straightaway, and about right there, you see that puff of smoke?
It almost looks like it came from the exhaust fanny, but we haven't seen it since.
I would think, and I'm just guessing, that he might have broken an inner valve spring. And for just a second, the valve touched the piston, and that's where the smoke came from.
Well, he is losing ground to this 88 car here right now as he's battling for the 2nd position with Joe Nemechek. Jarrett was about 3 seconds behind Jeff Burton, but now has moved it to about 1.42 seconds.
You know something, if that happened, Ned, I doubt very seriously Jeff Burton would know that he had a problem.
Well, the crew is reporting that he does not have a problem, so, you know, if he wouldn't know it, well, he wouldn't be able to tell them. And although, you know, if he broke a valve spring, though, you'd think that he'd feel it into his head when he heads off the turn, but maybe as slick as the track is now, he might not be able to.
And the valve spring, and it was just a little bit of smoke. I'm not sure he could feel that whatsoever. We'll see. We'll watch this develop and see if the car runs. There's a little bump there, and he was on the bottom of the racetrack. It could be that the car went down in the fender, the left rear fender touched the tire.
Kenny Irwin there, the 27 car, is back on the lead lap. He was a lap down in 11, but now is at the tail end of the lead lap.
And Dale Jarrett now is just 1.4 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton. We'll check again as we come by, and it's 1.3 seconds. And Jeff Burton is not closing in on the back of the 27 car. I do believe that he has lost a little bit of power.
Yeah, he's about a mile an hour off the speed of the next three of the top 6 cars. Jerry Punch?
You know, I don't know if it's power or not, but about a lap and a half ago, Buddy Parent hadn't said anything to him about the engine, but what Buddy did say was, it said, Jeff, I got to tell you, on the last stop, you wore the tires down to the cord on the inside. You have got to back off and save these tires. There's the one car showing a little bit of smoke between the car number 25, Ricky Craven, and he will come down pit road.
Craven was in 15th position, and he has found his pit stall.
Well, that could be what Jeff Burton is doing. Maybe he is just simply conserving tires. I'm told the 25 car was too fast coming down pit road. Here's the official standing in front of the car.
What in the world was that?
Well, that guy. How's that?
He's standing there, and he'll hold him for 15 seconds as Bill Elliott comes down pit road. Bill has been coming in earlier than most others all night long. Boy, he started out so great, but right now he's 4 laps down before he makes this pit stop in 32nd position.
There must have been a flat tire on the 25 car. They changed 4 tires. He goes back on the racetrack.
Kyle Petty comes out of the pits as well. And Jeff Burton still hasn't been able to put Kenny Irwin Jr. a lap down. He moves on the inside of the 4 car of Sterling Marlin, who is many laps down. He's in 39th, 63 laps down, as a matter of fact. I guess that makes 64 now.
They changed the transmission on the 4 car tonight.
Jeff Burton looking for his 3rd win of 1997. He's already won at Texas and New Hampshire. He leads here in Richmond. Jeff Burton continues to lead, but that interval now back to 2nd place. Dale Jarrett is less than a half second.
And there is Dale Jarrett. There's the leader. You can see just about 10 car lengths between the two.
And meanwhile, Jeff Gordon is catching both of them. Heavy traffic.
And here comes Jeff Gordon. Like you said, Ned, he is now 3 1/3 seconds behind the leader. Jeff Burton trying his best to put the 27 car lap down, and here comes Jeff Gordon this time under 3 seconds behind the leader.
Jeff Bodine has passed Nemechek and gone to 4th. He walks up front in the first 3 cars.
Jimmy Schrader comes down pit road in the Stoll Chevrolet. He is in 16th position. Now it's Jeff Burton trying to put Kenny Irwin a lap down. Irwin in 10th position. Runs up on Bobby Hamilton. Bobby Hamilton is in 9th position. And he's just going to take both of them at once. Well, maybe not.
Irwin hanging in there, but Burton gets the best of him, but puts Kenny a lap down. Now let's go down to Bill Weber.
And just a little over 60 laps left to go in this race. And you know Mark Martin's in about the best physical shape of any driver in this race. But the Roush team has gone and gotten Wally Dallenbach. He is down here in the Roush pit with his helmet on. He is standing by to relieve Mark Martin. They've requested oxygen down here for Mark, if indeed he should get out of the car. Now, team manager Steve Neal had just gotten off the top of the pit box. He's just climbed back on top. But a possible relief driver for Mark Martin, who is driving without power steering right now, is Wally Dallenbach.
You see him, and he cannot There's Darling back, and you see that he cannot turn the steering wheel. He's got his hands on the inside of the steering wheel and just goes in the corner and tries his best to turn. He's got his elbow against the steering wheel trying to press down on it.
Normally that right hand, Benny, would be up on the top of the steering wheel and you'd be pushing on it up through there. But you're right. He is using every ounce of muscle he has now.
Wow. The guy that is just 25 points back in the NASCAR Winston Cup point stand is a bad, bad night for Mark Martin. He's wearing it back in 16th spot.
2 laps down.
And watch him as he comes off the corner. Thank God for straightaways, he's saying. He goes to the corner. We see he's got his hand under the steering wheel. He goes in, takes his own arm, and tries to turn that steering wheel.
Joe Nemechek comes in for a pit stop, giving up a top 5 position. Jerry's headed toward you.
Well, Bobby had to pit on lap 257 before it was fit. He had to make at least one more stop. This will be his final stop as he comes down pit road. Tony Glover in the Bell South crew. Felix Sabata's own car, 35 miles an hour, and the brake rotors are blowing as he comes to a halt. They will clean the windshield, put on 4 fresh tires, top it off with fuel, 1 can, only about a can and a half to go this final, well, less than 70 laps now here. Left side tires going on, they scamper around, and this brake rotor is absolutely blowing. It is bright red on the left front. They pull the jack, he is out of the way at 20.2 seconds on that stop.
I tell you what, guys, if this thing goes green flag the rest of the way, that's not bad strategy.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Now, he's going to be able to gain a lot of time, like he did before on the last pit stop, and he's set to go the rest of the race. But how about these other guys? Are they going to have to stop? Probably not for fuel, but they're going to be slipping and sliding near the end of the race.
There's the leader, Jeff Burton. He started this race in 11th position and so far has led 215 of the 341 laps. Our ESPN Speed World cameras are live at Richmond International Raceway in Virginia. And we're being brought to you by Budweiser, the classic American lager. By the owners, managers, and crew who proudly call the McDonald's in your neighborhood my McDonald's. And by ATV Magazine's 1997 ATV of the Year, the Kawasaki Prairie 400 4x4. Jeff Burton enjoying about an 0.8 of a second lead on Dale Jarrett. Jeff Burton finished 4th a year ago, and finished 3rd.
Well, look at that 42 car of Joe Nemechek, Bob. It's just flying now with those new tires on. Now, he's got to catch the 99 car. He is 2 laps down right now. He gets the 99 car, he'll be 1 lap down if he gets by, which he should be able to do with those new tires. He's just moving right along. But now, whether he can make up that much or not, it's not a caution between now and the end of the race. I would really doubt it.
And we see the 23 car, Bobby Hamilton, is losing an engine going in the corner. He's not coming to the pit road.
And he's right in the groove. If that thing is putting down any oil or liquids, that could cause a caution, but let's see. He's staying out there, as you say. Right in that bottom groove. Spotters are telling us, hey, he's running in the bottom groove. Don't know if he's putting anything down or not. Now Bobby Hamilton comes into the pit.
He was running in 12th position when the problem occurred.
Musgrave leaving the pit like that's it. And Bobby Hamilton is coming into you, Jerry.
And Benny, they're going to bring him around behind the wall. Bobby thinks it's probably the rear end that may have gone away. They're going to try to put it up on jack stands and see if maybe it's the gear, or they can just put some more rear end grease in. Robbie Loomis gets the pace car to pull up and move out of the way. And now Bobby brings the SCP Pontiac in and to a halt as a cloud of smoke now and comes from beneath the car. They were going to try to get the car jacked up. Bobby puts the window net down to try to get some air. It's pretty doggone warm. He's just trying to get some fresh air because the entire inside of the car is getting full of smoke.
Well, a tough break for Bobby Hamilton, who had a great run going here tonight.
Started 3rd in tonight's race. Led 42 laps, and now he's behind the wall.
Oh, we got a race for the lead here. Jeff Burton, 99 car, and Dale Jarrett are just car lengths apart.
I think Jeff has been very cautious on that slick racetrack. Jarrett has moved up a lane where Bobby Hamilton was running right down on the bottom of the racetrack, Vinny. That second groove is the best place to be right now, it looks like.
There's Jimmy Spencer.
Spencer just came out of the pits not long ago. He passed both of them with new tires on.
Wow. Heavy traffic here as the cars come off the corner.
About 20 laps ago, Dale Jarrett's crew chief Todd Parrish says, DJ, just be smooth out there. You got to save that right rear tires. He takes a peek on the inside as they head down into turn one, trying to take the lead away from Jeff Burton. Said, be smooth. Save the right rear tire. It's got to last you to the end of the race. I just asked Todd, is DJ still saving his tires, or have you cut him loose? He looked at me, smiled, and said, no, he's still saving his tires. We're not finished with the way that car's going yet.
Well, you know, we talked a little while ago about Jeff Gordon had closed the gap to within about 3 seconds. Well, he's back now over 5 seconds as these two Fords have pulled away from him.
And here we go. Jarrett's on the inside. Got a great run off, too. There's Ward Burton right in front. I don't know what he's going this mix, but again, side by side. But Burton on the outside gets a run. Jarrett's not done yet.
Got to be using those tires up there right now. Down on that inside. That'll use those tires up. And Jeff's going to come up on his brother, Ward. Probably pass him on the outside.
And Jeff Burton able to stay in front of the 88 car. Bobby Hamilton out of his car. He's with Jerry Fun.
Bobby, a tough evening for you. What happened?
Looked like it knocked the belt off the rear end pump. Pretty decent car. I think it was good enough for a top 10. The guys did a real good job.
All right, Bobby Hamilton clocked out the SCP Pontiac, and when that belt came off, folks, they put it up on jack stands. It has literally burnt the rear of the car completely up as fluid pours underneath it. What a tough break for a guy who had a great qualifying run.
There you got some cars with new tires on them there, the 16 and the 41 has fresher tires. They're trying to pass the leaders. The 41 car of Steve Grissom is where he is right now. He's in 12th place, 2 laps down. And Ted Musgrave, he is in 13th place, 3 laps down, but now about to make it 2 laps down.
So the 41 and 16 racing in position. 22 car wants Jesper to stay in the lead lap. Here comes Jarrett on the inside. And believe it or not, Ward Burton is going to get in front of his brother and impede his progress and cost him the lead.
I don't know what's going to happen. Jarrett hasn't led a lap tonight. He hasn't gotten those 5 bonus points, but if he makes it back to the start-finish line, he will.
Jarrett becomes our 10th leader tonight.
Wow. Dale Jarrett down on the inside. He can't bring that car up the racetrack the way he needs to right there. That's slowing his car down just a little bit.
Can't get the angle into the turn that he needs. There he finally did. Ward gets out of the picture now and lets his brother go at it.
And just a moment ago, coming off turn 2, this is going down the front stretch. We see he and the 28 car, Ernie Irvin, go in the corner and make some contact. Gordon goes up the racetrack. And I thought coming off 2, he slowed down so much I thought something was wrong. Oh, hello. A little bump, so Ernie, I didn't appreciate that.
So 36 laps remain in this race, and Dale Jarrett has gone into the lead with Jeff Burton now second, and Jeff Gordon is now in 3rd position, but he's more than 5 1/4 seconds back. We'll be back in just a moment to Richmond.
This is Bob Barsha in Monterey, California. Bobby Rahal says his man Brian Herta is the fastest driver at Laguna Seca Raceway. Find out tomorrow at the Toyota Grand Prix of Monterey, featuring the Texaco 300, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.
Kart race tomorrow afternoon, but here tonight we've got to settle the score in this NASCAR Winston Cup event, and we are on record pace. The previous track record 108.499, and right now we're at 108.745 as Jarrett continues to lead.
Goes by Jeremy Mayfield, who's currently running in 6th spot, so now only 5 cars on the lead lap. Those cars within 9 seconds. Rusty Wallace in 5th, 9 seconds behind the leader, Dale Jarrett. The 3rd place car, Jeff Gordon. As he comes by the start finish line, we'll see he's 6 seconds behind the leader. There comes Jeff Bodine, 4th place car, just over 9 seconds, and Rusty Wallace about 9 1/4 seconds behind.
And that's the last car on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace.
There you see Rusty Wallace's onboard camera, just how far he's got to go to catch Jeff Bodine to move into 4th spot.
Started way back in 23rd spot.
We see that the 11th place car, Ted Musgrave, a couple laps down.
And Terry Labonte there in the 10th place car just went 2 laps down.
Lowest starting position of a winner on this 3/4 mile track. Terry Labonte started 24th in the spring race of 1995. As I said, Jarrett started 23rd tonight.
Driving a car that was not among his favorites. It might change if things keep going the way they are right now. That's the car that ran Martinsville back in the spring and probably ran the worst of his run all year. Todd Parrott said we can make that car run. We want to take it to Richmond.
And it looks like he's correct. So he's running very, very well tonight.
Pulling away a little bit from Jeff Burton. Burton's 1.87 seconds behind.
We just told his camera, let the cars go by, and you can see his left remaining running. Actually, there's only 3 cars out of the race. The 40 car of Robbie Gordon, the 46 car of Darlenbach, and also the 43 car of Bobby Hamilton. So it didn't pay to have a car in the 40s here tonight, numbered in the 40s.
Dale's last 4 finishes here at Richmond, 2nd, 3rd, and 2/4. He's in the lead tonight, looking for his first victory here at this facility. Back in a moment. Our pole sitter for tonight's race, Bill Elliott. He's been named the 2nd quarter nominee for the NASCAR True Value Man of the Year Award. Sponsoring the award, which awards $50,000. Bill recently served as honorary chairman of the 1st annual Dawson County, Georgia Cancer Society Relay for Life, a fundraiser dedicated to the memory of his nephew, Casey, who passed away last January at the age of 21. So Bill Elliott, nominee for 2nd quarter True Value Man of the Year. He right now is running in 30th position, some 6 laps down, as we take a look at the 2nd place car there of Jeff Burton.
Well, Jeff Burton, talking about him, it seems to me his car has gone away on him, Bob. He's having trouble keeping it down on the racetrack and spinning coming off the turn sometimes, getting a little bit loose and losing ground to the leader.
The only consolation is there are only 13 laps remaining in the race.
And he's got about a 3.5 second lead on Jeff Gordon, who is in 3rd position here, so we don't know if he can hang on and stay out in front of Gordon or not. Bill Weber?
Yeah, Ned, you're right on the money. The pictures tell it all. Jeff has told his crew that car simply is not as good now as it was earlier in the race. Buddy Terra tried to get him to try different lines, run a little higher line, but nothing has helped. The car is simply not as good late in the race as it was earlier. A very similar situation to what we saw with this Busch car last night.
And we'll look at the on-track interval, the AutoZone on-track interval between the leader, Dale Jarrett, the second-place car, Jeff Burton, on lap 382 to 386. In those 5 laps, you see the lead went from 1.6 seconds to 3 seconds, almost a second and a half gain just in 5 laps. Now look at Burton, 24-0, 24-2, 24-3, continuing to slow down almost each and every lap.
Less than 10 laps to go now. Remind you that Sports Center will be up right after the conclusion of our race with reports on baseball, college football, tennis, and other areas of the world of sports. U.S. Open men's semifinals going on.
You know, it's strange to see the leaders of the race, the cars that are going to win the race, being passed by so many cars. You say, how can they be leading the race? Because they did not spend as much time in the pits as the other cars did.
These cars that are passing the leaders have been in the pits and have fresher tires. And we see Joe Nemechek in that picture there. He has come all the way around the racetrack and is about to make up that lap that I said he might not be able to make on Jeff Gordon, but he hadn't got up to Dale Jarrett yet, as Bill Elliott now tries to go by Jarrett. But Joe Nemechek has definitely been running a lot faster than the leaders with those fresher tires. But he got too far down to begin with when he made that pit stop.
And we see that time that Jeff Gordon had the fastest lap. And we see how far he is behind the leader, 5.39 seconds. Right now, Jeff Gordon, he may not be winning the war, the battle, but trust me, he is winning the war tonight with Mark Martin having all the trouble he's having. And there we see Mark currently back in 32nd position.
And Gordon is closing on Jeff Burton. He's got it down now to less than 2 seconds.
But the next time by, when Dale Jarrett comes off the corner, one handful of laps. 5 laps to go. 5 laps. This baby's going to be history.
They're the 2 contenders, the top 2 in the points as Jeff Gordon passes Mark Martin.
Mark Martin in 24th position now, 4 laps down.
Wow, he got up there quick, didn't he?
There's Nemechek. We talked about him, so he's getting back in the lead lap. Joe Nemechek in 6th place, getting back on the lead lap.
And this will be Joe Nemechek's best finish of the year if he can hold that spot. His current best finish was 12th at Watkins Glen.
And that's what Joe Nemechek told me in the garage today. We need a good finish. You know, right now, the 4th place to them or 5th place to them is almost like winning. That's like this is the 6th place. But that to them is a moral victory.
3 laps to go now as Jarrett, Burton, and Jeff Gordon all cross the line.
We'll show you how far back the first 3 cars are. There's the 88 car with 2 laps to go. And there's the 2nd place car, Jeff Burton. And there we see Jeff Gordon just crossing the start-finish line, the 3rd place car.
Be the white flag this time by.
Coming up on Darrell Waltrip in the 17 car.
Actually, Darrell just passed Dale Jarrett.
And there is 1 lap to go as the white flag comes out. Less than 3/4 of a mile to go for Dale Jarrett.
Oh, big time. Even on the last lap, he's trying his best to work this car back to the line.
And so the driver who didn't have any short track wins coming into 97 now has won 2 straight short track events as Dale Jarrett takes the checkered flag and wins his 5th race of 1997, with Jeff Gordon finishing 2nd and Jeff Gordon finishing 3rd. Jeff Bodine will go home 4th as Lance Hooper spins on the backstretch on the final lap. Rusty Wallace finished 5th. Check 6th. Let's take a look at this.
The 37 car, as he comes off the line, something is wrong with the car. He'd go down the backstretch, he goes in the corner, almost loses control. And look at the sparks coming out. It looks like the tire is flat. And he nurses that car back around, and then we see the right rear tire completely flat by now.
Jeremy Mayfield, however, drove to a 10th place finish as Dale Jarrett is headed for pit road. And the winner's circle here at Richmond International Raceway. We'll be back to talk with him in a moment. Well, in victory lane, we have a very exhausted Dale Jarrett who has won this race and now climbs out of the car. And Dr. Jerry Punch has our McDonald's drive-thru winner's circle interview.
You talk about a driver that just drove until he couldn't drive anymore. What a great effort. He brings his girls in here, and here's Kelly, his wife, and his son Zachary, and DJ. Outstanding effort.
I tell you, Jerry, this crew's pretty awesome. We couldn't get this car hardly going all week, and still wasn't the best at the beginning of the night. And they worked hard and had great pit stops as they've been having. I'm just glad that I got Todd Parrott on my side, and this Robertson Eats engine did a fantastic job. Thank all our sponsors, you know, Ford Quality Care, Ford Credit, Texaco, Plastico. Everybody just does a great job for us, and here to win 5 this year and 2 short tracks in a row is pretty awesome.
Hey, what happened to you? Suddenly, that everyone said you weren't a short track racer. Now you've won 2 in a row. Where'd the pointers come from where you just suddenly felt comfortable?
Well, it's just a matter of working together, and Todd and I have had enough time on the short tracks. We've come close, but just couldn't quite pull it off until these last 2. And you know, they did a great job. They give me good cars every week, and we get it close.
All right, we're going to back out of the way and let him get in here and give him some fluids, and they've even maybe asked the crew to come in and give him a breath of oxygen out of a tank, because certainly he is absolutely spent tonight in that race car. Unfortunately, our commercial ran a little bit, let him sit in the car and catch his breath so he could come out and we could talk to us. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have been able to get out of the car.
Dale led 39 laps en route to his 13th career win. The 27th driver to win here at Richmond International Raceway. We'll be back with more in a moment. The race is over. Dale Jarrett has won, and all evening long we've had overhead shots courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam as you look down on the more than 100,000 who are now beginning to file out of Richmond International Raceway. A reminder that SportsCenter is coming up in just a few minutes. A chance to get caught up on everything that occurred today in the world of sports, Major League Baseball and college football and everything else. So stay tuned for SportsCenter coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's take a look at what happened here on the last lap on the backstretch from Ted Musgrave's onboard camera.
Well, we saw the one car there just as after the checkered flag fell, and here's Ted Musgrave coming up on Joe Nemechek, and Nemechek coming up on the number 1 car of Lance Hooper. Boom! They make contact and sends the 1 car of Hooper spinning around.
Bill Weber is with Jeff Burton.
Well, Jeff able to laugh. So I know second place stinks, but you had another great run.
We had a great race car. The guys did a great job in the pits. They caught a lot of hill after Darlington. Let me tell you, they showed you tonight what they were made of. They great pit stops, and I asked for it to be a little bit tighter at the end, and that's what they made it, but it turned out to be a lot looser. Probably should have asked for it to be a lot tighter, and I just misread the track a little bit. I misread it last night, too. I thought it needed to be a little bit looser, and I got tight, so we were doing everything but winning at Richmond.
Okay, well, he won at Loudon, and that's where we're going next. Jeff Burton with a second-place finish for the 2nd week in a row. But the big winner, Dale Jarrett, another short track win. More from Richmond after this timeout.